Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It's 1 p.m. on Monday, and we're here like always. It's Roller Wiener Monday. Get your roller wieners in your hand, and let's go. Put your wieners in your hand, and we will get this started. And so let's move over to this for a moment. All right, so this week we've got Pam and their lawsuit. Drivers win. Surprisingly, Wal-Mart is going to appeal their $55 million verdict. I'll tell you why, and it's pretty surprising what they're saying. It's incredible. Hey, Celadon is going to sell that Taylor Express division. Remember that? Oh, I got some other news about them too, including some expensive paintings. By the way, if you're a Taylor, get out. Waymo is going to start testing trucks in Arizona and New Mexico. They're spreading out. Don't forget about Matt's free tickets only until February 25th. You've got to order them with less than a month to get your free tickets. So there we go. For new people that are here, I miss a lot of clicks, so we'll have to get to that. Musafar Krylon was here first on Thursday, and today Frederick Watkins was first, so I appreciate that. I appreciate seeing you all first on both days. Christina was also here early. Thank you. You might be good first someday. I appreciate you coming in. Wild Bill is here today. Hello there. The president, it's always good to see a president, especially when he's supporting the local hot dog economy. President George H.W. Bush. King Bob is here. Hello. How's it going over there, Ruth? Good afternoon today. So how's it going, Trucker Hershey? Yeah, did you get your vaccine for that? Yikes, I think I had that a few weeks ago. You know, Fuelist Trucker is here early. Everybody's in early today. Big Mike, Big Huge Mike is here. It's good to see you as I go down the list here. I'm trying to keep up better today. That's my goal for the new year. Keep up in the comments. I don't know if I can. Michael Muller, Roller Wiener Wisdom is coming out soon. Hopefully, Irishman is here. Let's see. There we go. And I move on down. And Josh Bunton is here. Caleb is here. Here's some where we start out here. Luke, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't pass on the right. Monday, Chris Streeper is here. Hello there. Ursel Blevins is here. Hello. Jedediah Kelly. Everybody's testing my reading abilities today. Hello there. It's good to see you. Geeks Trucking. Hello there. Throwing out videos like Eminem spitting out words. Love it. Trucking Journeys. Hello. It's good to see you. Alexandra is here. I hope you are doing well. Stan Dodge is here. Hello. Yeah, it was a good weekend. You know, I had to go scrape the car on Sunday. It was so frosty that day. That's the worst snow we've had this year. It's incredible. Cold shoulder. Hello. Oh, Vannon. Hello there from Canada. Hey, what's going on up there? Day Cab Gear Jammer. I can't not say it. You know, you just can't not say it. You have no choice. Nomad Trucker. Hello from the Vegas Freightliner shop. Are you getting your truck fixed or are you buying a new truck? How about that? Stanley from Sioux City, King English. The video on the Swift driver wearing his professional shirt was one of the best. Funny. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Never know what I'm going to give in that, but yeah, I appreciate it. Look, you know, the company Swift, and it's not just Swift, but you see them more, I think. These companies are giving out shirts to mentors, right, to wear around in truck stops and stuff, rather than actually hiring professionals. Wearing that shirt doesn't make you professional. You know, you still have 3 months experience, doesn't change the company, and distinct from the company still goes on to you, so that's not great here. Michelle, hello. What's going on? Let's see here. Some will just say hello there. Chris, howdy. Wilbon, good afternoon to you. Steve Raleigh, let's see. There we go. Farva, hello. And Admiral of Schneider. Are you the Admiral of Schneider? Was that you I saw that day? Jeffrey Herring, good afternoon. It's good to see you. Cassius King Trucking, 4 minutes late. Not bad for you. Not bad. Alexander, it's 62 in Dallas. Very nice. It's going to be, about 6 weeks for that here. Great. I hate Dolphins. It's been a heck of a week. What's the problem? Packers are number 1 from Milwaukee. Well, I don't know. The Bears always win that stuff. That's what I saw on TV 30 years ago. Oh, a new fan clutch? Well, that's not terrible. What are those, about $75? Think about going. Jedediah is going to go to GP Transco. Yeah, I got some information about them right here. Of course, if you want to go see GP Transco, here's their information. I don't guarantee a teal-colored truck, right? But give them a call. Check out the website, all that stuff. Almond Roller Wiener, yeah. 34 and cloudy in Council Bluffs. It's nice here today. I appreciate that. Roger Penske, the captain of the Korean Mafia. You could be the admiral of the Korean Mafia. What about this Pam lawsuit? Okay, so this is super important. The Pam lawsuit, that Pam lost, and they had a directed judgment against Pam. So they said, okay, look, we're not going to take this any further. Drivers get paid for all this time. Now, Pam hasn't appealed it yet. But what has happened right now, as of right now, they are required to pay for that time. Now, they're going to appeal it, and they're not going to pay you right now. So a couple of people wrote me and said, when am I going to get a check? You're not going to get a check for quite a while, okay? So don't think like you're getting a check immediately. That's not going to happen. But what is going to happen is you eventually could get a check once all the appeals are finished. Pam is certainly going to appeal this. But what the court said is that, hey, you've got to go ahead and pay people for all their time on duty and on-duty driving and on-duty not driving. All that time has to be paid. You don't have any choice about Geeks Trucking. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you for getting the videos out and showing people another side of trucking. If people want to check out, a different side of trucking, check out Geeks Trucking. How about that? That's a good slogan. The other different side of trucking. All right. Kind of like Sears, the softer side of Sears. So nobody remembers that. Anyhow, they're going to have to pay people for all their on-duty and driving time. Okay, that's what the court said. So far, that's going to be appealed. It's coming, though. The day is coming because you got Wal-Mart fighting the same thing here, which we'll get to. You're a professional by how you treat other folks, your driving, and how you present yourself. Yeah, Alexander, exactly. By giving, these companies are giving these shirts out. Schneider gives out a lot of patches on their jackets, and Swift gives out these mentor shirts to mentors, but doesn't require the driver to be a professional anyway. A few months of driving or whatever is not make you a professional driver or a good trainer. And that's what they don't require. That would actually take effort on these large mega carrier companies' part rather than, just hand out shirts. Well, that's just easy, $20, everybody gets a shirt. That doesn't change who it is, certainly. Hello from Lynchburg, home of Jack Daniels. Anyone know of what's a good flatbed company down there in Lynchburg in Tennessee area, right? Mark, my man, Kenneth B., what's going on? Love the post about the mentorship. Yeah, thank you. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't know. Maybe he was in there and he didn't know that we could all see him. That he was wearing it, but didn't realize we could see him. Kind of like Soap, right, with Bert would snap his fingers and become invisible. No one, of course, knows what I'm talking about, but I didn't know if that driver knew we could see him. I think, now he knows we can actually see him. Have I done oil field, Marty? I have not done oil field before. Yes, Trucking Journeys is Taylor, the company out of Fayetteville that Celadon owned. Yes, and Celadon is selling them. Isn't that great? They're selling Taylor Express. Donovan starting a new job out of Waterloo, 60 cents a mile. No, that's pretty good. The Admiral's Mr. Kim, of course, yes. I used to get patches, but I was a Boy Scout and 10 rewards with me with money. That's better. Yeah, the money would be better than a bunch of patches. And somebody wrote to me, an astute viewer said, look, Werner gives out stickers for the truck for successful drops and, stops. Now, I don't know if that's correct. I need to get a picture of that. Somebody needs to send me a picture of that. If somebody's got a picture of a Werner truck that says 10 successful stops, oh my gosh, that'd be super funny. I don't know if that's actually true. How come I can't find anything on Black Smoke Matters on YouTube? They took their stuff down from what I understand. They disappeared literally like smoke and got blown away. And I haven't seen them. They haven't popped back out of whatever cave they're in lately. Darnell Morning seen 2 GP trucks at the same stop in Wisconsin to win a trophy. Yeah, you've seen 2 of them more than I've seen. I mean, the number of people have seen the trucks, like this one here, from a different astute viewer, right, sees these steel trucks around. I don't ever get to see them. Another person sent me a picture a little bit ago of another one that they saw at a rest area. I don't know where they are. I don't know if they actually have steel trucks. Everybody, I'm being gaslighted. I think I'm being gaslighted by GP Transco, and perhaps everybody's on the payroll there but me. Good afternoon, everybody. Fleet Nav Systems is here. Good afternoon to you. It is good to see you here today for Geotab questions, ELD, E-log questions. Check out Fleet Nav Systems. They got a YouTube channel too. Super informative, and they're not like 48-minute, droning on videos. They get to the point and get you the information. So there's Fleet Nav Systems. Check them out, and put some questions in the comments here if you need them to answer a question for you. Fleet Nav Systems. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. A mentor is just another driver who doesn't know what he's doing after 3 months. At some places, that's true. That's true. But they push it onto people. Hey, if you become a mentor, look at all the money you're going to make. Look at all the, and that's not the reason to do anything, in my opinion. You don't go do the stuff for money. You go do the thing, and then you get the money. It's reversed. People do things in the reverse way. You stop being soft when you left the IT field. Yes, that's true. Right. Now the stuff you're doing out there, you're really rolling. Just the listening to you on the video tires me out of one day you had more stops that one day than I do in an entire week. So that's really something. If it is determined that the federal court upholds the decision, shouldn't all companies have to follow? Yeah, but it's going to be just Pam because they're just suing Pam. And so another driver at another company then is going to be able to go to court, though, and use that as precedent in their suit. Absolutely. And then if another company gets sued and loses, it'll just change. The whole industry will start changing rather than doing the lawsuits because they know the writing is on the toilet wall, really, in the form of a limerick. Maverick pays well, and they're all 48 states. All right. Yeah, that's true. Can you make the rant a weekly column? I do my Sunday rant sometimes. Sometimes I forget about it, but sometimes when I'm out filling up the car for the wife, I'll get on a rant and do that. Yes. Lynchburg has Maverick and TMC. Oh, so you can decide if you want to keep your truck spotless or just clean. Joshua Royal Trucking, West Point, Mississippi. Tony, I used to work for Pam. Love the news. Nice to see them taking it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it couldn't happen to a nicer place. The thing is, they're going to continue to fight it. I mean, I cannot imagine they're just going to pay it. They're going to continue to fight on. Forgot about that on Soap, Drucker Hershey. I can't believe you remember the TV show Soap, really. George Wilson, good morning. Kenneth survived 3 months at Swift on an accident. You might deserve a shirt. That's the people with shirts. And if you survive 6 months, you're the CEO. Alexandra says, I have a strict sticker on my truck. I'm not much on seizing the day. I just poke it with a stick. That's the kind of sticker that trucks need to have. Trucker Hershey may be okay if 10 stops in one day. Yeah, that's too many stops. That's too many stops in a month. That gets crazy. What's a good Southeast regional job? All right, who's out in the Southeast out here today about that? How's that, Werner? That's better than the Werner one. Who'd they sell Taylor to? I used to want to work there. They were headquartered in the same city. Okay, Trucking Journeys. So Celadon, which is back in the news, and I'm trying to get a clicky here, but not great at it. Okay, there it is. How about that? Yeah, I got a transition. Celadon's back in the news, and they sold Taylor Express. Let's see here. I wrote this down to make sure. Okay, they sold Taylor Express to a holding group, okay? You know what that means? Well, it's even better. It's the same holding group that invested $160 million in Celadon last summer. That's right. The same group that gave Celadon all that money before they went bankrupt just bought Taylor Express out of bankruptcy. The same place. Now, if you I don't even know what to say. If you are at Taylor Express, I mean, this is the recommendation right now for that place. I'll tell you that right now. That would be my recommendation. You can stay, but this would be the recommendation. It's some holding company. It has nothing to do with trucking. It's not like, it's a group of truckers or whatever. It's the same company that gave Celadon all that money. Guess what? They bought Taylor Express. I can't believe it. I just can't believe that even happens in America. But they did. And so now what are we supposed to do? They have 161 drivers at Taylor Express, by the way. What made me mad is I ran into a Swift driver. That's no good. I passed 3 yesterday on 55. I don't know where you see these at. Hello, Mark from the South Texas oil fields. Oh, people are asking about that. How's it going in the oil fields right now? Still good? Gas is cheap out here. Mark says, Black Smoke Matters. This is on Facebook. You were there 5 minutes ago. All right. Are they still over there blowing smoke, as they say? Chris Steeper. Mark, I'm all for drivers getting paid for working all their time like any other employee. However, no professional driver for minimum wage. The only thing you can really ask for legally would be minimum wage, because that's all the law allows at the moment. So, and I'll tell you this, it must mean something to Pam and these other companies that are fighting this. They must think they don't pay it because they're really fighting it. If they already paid more than that, they wouldn't fight it. They go, well, we already give more than this, so it wouldn't be any problem. But that isn't the problem, is it? The problem is that you don't make that much money, and it's $606 for 70 hours at minimum wage. So there are drivers at Pam that were complaining about making $400 a week. So there you go. Josh, I see the teal trucks all the time in the Midwest and some on the East Coast. I don't see them at all. John, he said it was illegal to recap because his dispatch and driver manager said it was illegal. And it's not illegal to recap. I guess a company could probably have a policy, but I don't know why they would. Christina loves the sunshine in southern Indiana. I know, it's so nice. I hung the bird feeder back out today, and the cat is sunning herself in the window today. Roger Penske, apparently the courts can pretend to be the final authority on any issue, but I'd feel more secure if Congress repealed the unfair labor practices. They should. Look, the Fair Labor Standards Act, I think, and all this other stuff, that should all apply to everybody. That's true. But the court can just say, look, these people qualify for this money. So that's what the courts have said so far. Fleet Nav System, use the @ in the comments so they don't miss any questions. If you have Geotab or other ELD log questions, maybe it's time to join the rest of us on the GP payroll. Apparently, I'm the only one not getting paid because I don't. The trucks are, there's some kind of, I can't see them. They go by, they don't show up for me. Stickers on the truck, that's sort of like college football. Now they put the stickers on their helmets. Yeah, they're going to, it'll be just like a NASCAR truck, some of these Schneider and Werner trucks with so many stickers. Rip Kobe Bryant. Yeah, RIP to that. That was pretty horrible, I'm sure. Even though I'm not a big sports fan, I heard about that was in the news. If you don't know, Kobe Bryant, his helicopter, which he owned, crashed yesterday. Him and his daughter and a number of other people who they haven't named yet died in this crash in Southern California. It's pretty much horrible, I would say. So she was 13, I believe. He died, and his wife was not with them. She's living. It's a huge disaster, and that's one reason. I don't know how old he was, 40s maybe? I don't know. That I don't know, but I'll tell you this. You never know when your last day is on the planet. You think, oh, I've got 30 years, I've got 20 years. I don't know when that is. It could be tomorrow, could be any day. Whatever you want to do, right, go do it today. Get started on it, go do it, make plans, and go do it. If you want to go do something else, do it immediately. You're not guaranteed the next 1 minute. Had to do a 30 for a restart 200 miles from the house. Who does that? Who kind of place does that? Kim is not out here for prestige. I'm out here for a paycheck. That's correct. That's why we're all out here, I hope. Who's teaching these idiots? I agree. We work for Swift, my mentor, but the trainer in the ditch on train tracks at midnight. Well, look, you're going to expect some of that stuff. Diesel is leaving ShipX. Why are you leaving ShipX? It's a place that I've liked. I like the salary. So what's the deal of leaving a place that pays a salary, which I think is unusual in the industry? And, of course, I always lose my spot. Alexander, when I'm ready to be an owner-operator, Transco is certainly my list. GP Transcos, they like to be called. 80% is a good rate as long as the prices are good. Yeah, I mean, if you ever do it, let me know how it goes. I've just never been one to want to do it because I'm always nervous. I mean, if the rates go to 80 cents, you get 64 cents. So I don't know, but maybe the rates are good. I'd certainly want to see some rates in advance. Like, maybe they can show you some recent rates or something. Yeah, let me know how it goes. Black Smoke Matters are weeding out infiltrators, members only. Oh, okay. I don't want to go, I guess I don't want to go over there and infiltrate the place. They're welcome to come on here and talk if they'd like to. Fearless Trucker, I'm suffering from ADHD ELD. I forgot what it's like to do a paper log. We had that problem too sometimes. Somebody's ELD will go out and they have to do a paper log and they're like, oh, now I got to remember how to do a paper log. It's funny. Shifting gears was late. Sorry I'm late. I was at the Senate speaking in defense of roller wieners. I appreciate your dedication to the rolled meat cause. Flatbed Mountain's good except for the cameras. That makes them bad, basically. Mark, GP advertised on Smart Trucking. That's what I heard. They're reading ads now, reading commercials. They're out of Illinois near Chicago. Think Odd Color Trucks boasting good pay. Smart Truck is a solid dude. It's probably a good company. Yeah, look, I like Dave over there. I'm just giving him a little grief about that. I think it's funny. But absolutely, and sometimes I even forget his name. It's a good channel, and I guess GP Transco advertises on there. If you want a truck that's not a company-colored truck, absolutely. Jeff Ravella, the wife knows not to bother you on Mondays at 10 because she knows I'm watching the Mark's YouTube show. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the wife doing that, really. Wild Bill asks who I drive for, and for new people on the channel or people that don't know, I don't ever say who I drive for. That keeps them out of my videos, and I've had a couple people write to me lately about their companies getting really strict on that kind of stuff. So I keep them out of the videos. I also don't advertise for them or any trucking company, right? I don't get paid from any trucking company, so including my own for advertising. Some of the drivers out here, their whole channel is just advertising for their trucking company or other trucking companies, and that's not right. I don't do it that way. I can review companies too, so keeps it all clean that way. That's what I think. Geeks Trucking says check out a rider lease. That's what he has. And apparently you got that truck turned up. I saw that video the other day. That's turned up, as the kids say these days. Al John's made it. Good. It's good to see you. Oh, thank you. Wow, Bill. I appreciate it. Got your first blue parrot. Well, that is awesome. Because if you wear it, you should always make it a parrot. And I have that here, of course, somewhere. Right. Always make it a parrot. Which one did you get? Let's ask that so I can see which one people are getting now. Is everybody probably getting the 450 now? That's what I think. Good morning, Wieners. Yikes. Trucking Journey, GP Transco in South Carolina is a great regional job. They did get, G&P, right? Got bought out by NFI. Yeah, we don't know how it'll be with NFI, right? We'd have to see. Oh, Eppies is in the Southeast. I think R&L is down there too, right? Alexandra, thank you. I'm certainly going to do that. You want a Mac? Do they have any Macs over there, Geeks Trucking? I'm on my way to Amarillo, Oklahoma City. All right. I can't ever forget that place. Geeks Trucking does have a YouTube channel, so they should check that out. So, Precision Logistics, hello. Diesel Weasel, Eppies is owned by Penske. Really? Actually, Penske does do a lot of logistics. They do advertise a lot in Indianapolis, so, okay, we can go with that. Holding companies like to buy failing businesses to launder money. Then they say bada bing. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I don't know. I'm not saying they're laundering money because I wouldn't accuse them of anything improper, of course, but right after they gave all that money to Celadon, the place went bankrupt. So now the same company has bought Taylor Trucking. The exact same company bought Taylor Trucking. So I don't know what to say. If you're a Taylor, if this place ever closes, there's going to be drivers at Taylor that write to me and go, Mark, I had no idea anything was going on. I mean, come on. What more can we say about this? Think these judges will get tired of Pam's shenanigans? They don't seem to, because then they'll get into another court. It's another judge. What I'm tired of is Pam paying tens of thousands of dollars to federal appeals court attorneys to go file all these motions and briefs and everything else, and not paying drivers. So this minimum wage, it must impact the company somehow, or they would pay it, or they would be able to go to court and say, well, we already pay minimum wage, so this lawsuit is moot. Just for my own sanity, I want to see what you think about my company. All right, can't tell me how many days off I have accumulated. Believe I have around 14 days. How do they not know how many days you have off? I'd say, how do you guys not know how many days I have off, right? Indiana has a prohibition on the color teal. You know what? With all their other goofy laws here, that I kind of believe. That is actually a possibility. Roderick says it's starting to pick back up in West Texas. We've been hauling a lot of frac lubricant to San Antonio and Odessa. Oh, that sounds slippery. Well, so are you working? Are you busy, constantly? Because somebody's got to go basically live there or whatever. Eppies is a good company, but they're not Southeast regional. They run from Southeast all the way to Northeast. Yikes. Most of their routes go from Southeast to Northeast. Ugh. Well, it better pay good if you're going to run through the Northeast all the time. Why do you need that much lube? I didn't want to say anything about the lube recaps, illegal, more mega companies' lies. Yeah, I will say this about a recap and a company. They're allowed, if they want, to have a company policy that is more strict than the DOT allows. So they can actually say, at our company, Company A, we don't allow you to recap. We don't allow it. They can do it. They can be more strict than the government. They just can't be less strict. They can't say, well, here you only need a 9-hour break. They're not allowed to do that. They can say, at our company, you need an 11-hour break. They would be allowed legally to do that. They could do it at their company if it's a company policy. It'd be crazy. It's crazy, but they can do it. Absolutely. Ronald says 41. Where are we going with that? So, a cloaking device on the teal trucks. I was wondering if they have something like that. They're just shielding themselves from me. I've been recapping for 6 months apart from home time. Yeah, there's no reason you couldn't unless the company doesn't want you to do it. When you were with Pam for a week, you made $250. That's why they're worried about minimum wage. Minimum wage with overtime for 70 hours is $606 at the moment. Although they're talking about raising it to $825. I got to make up stickers in my own truck. Oh, first sticker says driver carries no cash, only Bitcoins. Right. So you're only going to get a very highly advanced person to rob you. ShipX pays that in a day. I'm still wondering what happened at ShipX. Why would we leave there? Roy, I'm 22. GP Transco called, talked to the lead recruiter, but couldn't apply because you're 22. Do they have a 23-year-old age limit? That's a possibility. They're not on here today. Sometimes they're in here. They have meetings and stuff. So I don't know what their age requirement. I know they need a year of driving. I try to reset every Sunday so I can go do stuff, but rarely recap, but I've ran them for weeks at a time when you need to. You can. People think you can't because they're told this. Sometimes their mentors are told it or whatever. You can as long as your company allows it. Tomorrow is Tube Steak Tuesday, only for some people. My Dixie wrecked. What? Here's what I think for pay. Go to work for a company that pays you by the hour. That's true. I'm in Fort Wayne and drive for Riley Trucking. We pay by the hour. We're hiring. That's good. You know who's up there too? JAT of Fort Wayne, who I've featured on the channel here, and they pay hourly for over the road. So certainly all drivers, though, should get hourly plus overtime, and you wouldn't have to worry about all this free time. Oh, you get to fuel the truck free, you get to do all this free. That wouldn't happen anymore because you'd get paid for all the time that the companies expect you to work for nothing. Once you've been driving for a year or two, it's just the name on the side of a truck if you're happy. Yes, find a company. You may have to start out at some company you don't like because you don't know or whatever. Then find a company that suits the way you want to drive and stay there. Just find the place and stay at a good place. Alexandra, no mandatory cameras, violation of the Fourth Amendment despite what the court said. I agree with you. I don't think it should be allowed, but unfortunately this country allowed them. Canada didn't. They don't have them in Canada, not facing in. So I don't know. Whoever's late, report them to Gracie. Yeah, that would be really good. Let's see. I wonder what she would think about that. She would have to, she'd have to look into it. She'll have to do something. She was biting me earlier, so I don't know. What's next? Are they going to impeach roller wieners? That will be next. They said they're supposed to send that over sometime next week. Will interrupt all my shows that I watch, like the People's Court. Shouldn't truckers have the opportunity to obtain a degree in transportation trucking? Ooh. In ongoing training, education, doctor's education is continuous, and so does law enforcement and firefighters. Yeah, well, I will say there's no reason you couldn't obtain a degree in whatever you want, I guess, really, right? I mean, no one stops anyone from going to college, I guess, if you want to. I thought you advertised for Sierra England. Sometimes I will read ads for England. And, that is, some people have said I should look into XM Radio. And that's one thing that really stops me from even talking to them is that you have to read ads. I listen to it all the time, the trucking channel. You have to read ads on the channel. I don't want to have to read an ad for England. I don't want to do it. Diesel. Okay, good. Diesel Weasel. ShipX harps on miles, but they don't communicate. Dispatch is almost non-existent. Salary's nice, but I sit a lot, and they harp on miles. High turnover rates, too. Not sure if I'll have a job. I guess, but don't you still get paid even if they make you sit? I mean, that's always been the deal at ShipX that I liked, is that if there's a problem and they don't get you miles, you still get paid. Is that not correct? So you get your $11.70, right? Isn't that the salary there? Chris, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I know a lawsuit will settle for bare minimum wage, but we as an industry should be fighting for more. That's true. You should fight for more, but the only thing you can fight for legally right now, certainly, is minimum wage. You can't demand $10, $20, it doesn't matter, any more than that. There's no legal precedent for any company to give you more. The only thing you can go to court for is the minimum that's set by law. I'd never drive for Covenant. I don't like political messages on my trucks. That's true. Every back of every trailer has a message from the company. Ralph, good morning. How's the cat? She is doing great. I haven't seen her in a little bit. She's probably in the back in the sun today, but I appreciate that. So you got a 450 XT. I bought it at the Loves in New Jersey. I hope you used Loves points. Oh, right. We got to talk about that, too. What do you think of this new norovirus? I think they ought to get people... the problem with this kind of thing is travel. 24-hour travel. You can get anywhere in the world. It's going to be hard to do this. Is this going to be the end? I don't know. But people that have it, let's get them cured. Let's get them quarantined and get them cured before this spreads everywhere. It's crazy. I was reading a thing this week. Some companies now are requiring you, the driver, to give them, the company, your fuel bonus points. That's correct. They're not letting you keep the fuel points. And I thought, how cheap can they be? I wouldn't do it personally, because what these companies are doing is giving you a card, and you have to use their point card because the company is keeping, all the points, and then they're buying, I don't know, I guess they're buying everybody in the office those helmets instead of you being able to buy it. That's a bonus from the truck stop to the driver. It has nothing to do with the company. That's really to get you to come in there and buy something, of course. That's not a company thing. That's not their points because they're buying the fuel. They have to buy the fuel anyway. There's no way I'd ever use if there's anything, we're not using a card on it. But I'm not giving them those points. It's not their points. So some companies are talking about that you have to use their card. There's no way. Everybody on YouTube is a maven. What's a maven? You watch these people that call themselves so-called professional backup teachers. Backing up is easy when you understand what your trailer is doing. Well, it's easy once you get it down pat, right? For new people, it's not that easy, and it's pretty daunting of a task if you're coming to truck school in a smart car and then suddenly you got this gigantic truck. I mean, it takes time to learn how to do it. Let's be honest about it. The Parrot 450 is too big. The 350 is still the best. Yeah, I stick with the 350, but the 450 is close in price, like $10 or something difference right now. Detrius, salute. Hey, what's going on? Hubert, good roller Wiener Monday. It's good to see you. Zach, recaps are illegal if a company says it. Some companies are not allowing their drivers to use recaps. Isn't that crazy? They're totally legal. Some companies don't allow it. Nick, Mark is the best. I appreciate that. Save me from making a career mistake after 7 days of frustration. I appreciate it. Worked for Penske Logistics for 4 years. What did you think? I mean, you went to ShipX from there, so apparently you didn't think too much about it. Were you local there? They advertise a lot of local jobs in Indianapolis. So what did you do there at Penske Logistics? Got your Korean happy endings virus here right here. Yeah, exactly. Maybe you guys could do something about it down there. Get those people working on it down there. They will have used that debt with Celadon to leverage against labor costs. This Taylor Trucking, where it's the same company buying Taylor that bought Celadon, or they bought an interest, a 50% interest in it. Oh my gosh. What says quit this job right now than that? If you lease with rider, does the lease come with a rider? Oh, I think that's extra. I think that you have to go talk about that extra. This is what Gracie thinks about that, certainly. She's not really impressed with it. She's very exhausted. The cat. All right, Alexandra. I do 8-2 splits on my freight a lot when I go to Ohio. Oh, that's unusual. And I don't hear too many solos splitting, but that's good. If you can split it like that, if you can work that schedule, you got it made. Saw 7 Celadon trainers at a distribution center in North Carolina. Sweet. What are we doing with these things? Did you take one over and recycle it? Ansel and Penelope, don't die. I'm going to try not to, but you never know when that last day is, what I'm saying. Kobe Bryant didn't expect to die either, but he did yesterday. That next day is not guaranteed. If there's something you're waiting to do, I'll do this later, do it right now. Start immediately. Stop everything and start immediately after the show. No recap on steer tire ever, right? There's no law on that, though. Which I went over this about a year ago with some people. They actually don't have a law on it. Only for buses. For buses can't have them, but actually on a truck you can use them. So, Roy, a high run and stay there before you get the decrease. Trying not to scare anyone. Just got some intel on a virus, and it's bad. It's very strong. I agree, right. I totally agree. Let's get some quarantines going. I drink Blue Moon, Alexander. I don't know what Blue Moon is. I don't like recap. Would rather have the freedom to work a 14-hour clock. Okay, I mean, you don't have to use it, but it's there for people to use. What's the intel? 100,000 dead in 7 days. Really? Where's all that happening at? Man, I'm about to get out my ready kit here and duct tape the door shut around the cracks. Will you ever do a live call-in show, Gustavo? No. That was discussed some time ago and decided no. Would be against. It's not the kind of show here for a live call-in show. Worked 4 hours free getting unloaded and loaded today before getting paid. That's not great, Matt. That is not great. Working free before getting paid is not a great plan, so I don't like that. Why does your company not pay you for that time? Texas Traders got in late, so report to Gracie for your demerits. Yes, please do that. She's not impressed with you coming in late. She is always on time wherever she goes. Of course, she doesn't have a real tough schedule to follow. Can you drink beer on a 34? Gustavo, you can drink on your break when you're not working. I probably wouldn't. I don't drink beer anyway, so I guess I wouldn't at all. But you can drink if you're not driving. But, you blow or whatever. You got to have your 12 hours off. Just don't do it. 2 more months in England. They threw me on an East Coast dedicated route, and it's terrible. Oh, I bet. 36 cents a mile. Sweet. How do you call all East Coast states dedicated? Oh, companies do this dedicated, all the time. They call something dedicated that's not. This is what we say about England as well, really. Just get out of the place as soon as you can. And I know you got a contract or whatever, so I get that. Dedicated is different to different companies. They say just you're dedicated to the East Coast, and that's dedicated. There's no parking, and 36 cents a mile on the East Coast, I don't even know what to say about that. That's crazy. Some companies are starting at 50 cents no matter where you drive. Do they wonder why people quit? If you have 2 months, it's time to really now start deciding what you want to do and look for a better job so that you can just transition to it immediately. Matt, start a podcast the way it can be downloaded and listened to at any time. I did have a podcast, which I just canceled it a little bit ago because I didn't have a lot of time to do it, and I had some episodes out, and nobody was listening to them. So, because I can get the statistics, so I didn't have that much success with it, and it's taken me a lot of time to do it because then I have to go do, a different program and stuff. So, it just didn't get anywhere. I'm trying to focus just on this and the emails I get and stuff like that. So, John can touch your toes. That's excellent. Pilot bought Speedway. Yes, Pilot's new name, which I wrote down here. Pilot Company. Right. So, Pilot Flying J is now Pilot Company. They changed their name. That's pretty good. You'll be seeing their new logos out everywhere. I got $1 million in my bank, and I'd still like to get paid fairly well. Okay. Do they take the shower credits also, Trucker Hershey? That's the thing I wondered, too. See, so if you use their card, that shower credit would be on there. They can't use the credit unless they went to the truck stop. So you'd have a card, you could use the shower credit, but somehow they're sucking the points off those cards. Just about the fuel bonus cards, it's not totally true. Pilot gave me 5 times multiplier based on what company I work for. Well, not every company is doing it. Some companies are saying, look, you can't keep those points. We buy the fuel, it's our points. ShipX pays you, but they want 12,000 miles a month, but dispatch has you sit due to appointments. 10-5 so far this month, no home time. What do they do if you don't get the 12,000 miles? Because it isn't your fault. Do you still get the 1170? And really, and to be honest, the thing at ShipX was always the bonuses, which is what made it good. 1170 to be gone isn't great money, but with the huge bonuses there, if you had more miles, which apparently they're not giving you, the pay went up rapidly, as you know there. So you could really make, 90, 100,000 there was possible in their bonus program. 10-5 and no home time and 1170 is not great. When XM and Sirius started 20 years ago, their claim to fame was radio without commercials. That's true, right? And I started listening to it probably 18 years ago at my first XM radio. Been a subscriber ever since. It's on in the cars all the time. Cash is King Trucking. I'm not worried about the coronavirus. Only drink Bud Light. Yeah, what if it's the Corona Light virus? I stick with the camo blue parrot. No one sees you wearing it. Then the cops can't give you a ticket for it. I think driver managers make more than drivers. They wish they did. Probably at some companies they do. Perfect excuse going in the office smelling like rotting fish. They asked them till I can't afford the showers without the free ones. That's true, right? But except this, they don't care probably. Al Johns is satisfied with AAA Cooper. I'm on my way to family emergency and not stuck in Detroit. LTL is the best. LTL is pretty good for people that don't know. You can get off the road, be home every day, get paid for all of your time. I was at the Pilot the other day and I looked over to the roller wieners. A question came to mind. Do those Tornados qualify as roller wieners? Yes, any rolled meat product. If there's meat in a circular or semicircular pattern that can turn on a roller, absolutely. Do y'all pick up hitchhikers? No. Wow, Bill, you liked LTL. You're a super LTL. I was happy with the Penske, but their safety goes overboard. Left to see west. Have a rider. I'd like to go back to Penske in a heartbeat. Really? Well, I mean, maybe they'll take you back. What do you mean by safety? Like, do they have driver-facing cameras? Let's ask that. I'm always curious about that. Alexander, cancer almost killed me. Tomorrow's really not promised. I'm glad to be around. We're glad to have you, too. And you know better, probably than all of us, that there's no extra days guaranteed. So whatever it is you want to do, go do it. What are you waiting for? Something you want to do in life? What are you waiting for? Go. There might not be, I'm planning out in a year there. It might not be that year for you to go do it. Want to go do something else with your life? Do it. I don't think you're allowed to put a plug in a steer tire. Depends where you plug it, right? Trans Am won't let their company drivers, nothing on the sidewalls, right? Trans Am won't let their company drivers do 34. They run them on recaps on purpose so they can control them with relays. Sweet. So they're reversed. Now they don't let you take a break. George Wilson, no recaps on steer tires. Actually, the DOT says no recaps on steer tires on motor coaches. So they're very specific. They do allow them on semis. Most places don't use them. Even here, where they put recaps on the trucks and trailers, they do not use them on the steers. I think it's 100,000 possible. Really, I've not heard about 100,000 deaths. No. But didn't they just lock down all the flights out of some city in China that had this problem too? I think I read that on the news. Is there an American company winning sponsor an English driver? I want to drive in the United States. You're going to have to come here and get permission to work and all that before. I do know a lot of Canadian companies do this, but I don't know about companies sponsoring a driver like that. GP Transco is here. Good afternoon from Illinois. Good afternoon, GP Transco. Somebody had a question. I don't remember what it is at the moment. So hopefully they can ask that again. GP Transco information. I don't guarantee a teal truck there, no matter what anybody says. You might get one. You might not. I don't know if they have any. I've been running recaps since Christmas. Wow. You must be making a ton of money over there. George Costanza shouldn't be a 70, while 8, 11, and 14 are understandable. Why do they limit how much time we can drive if we're taking the mandatory 10-hour break? Well, I mean, the thing is, when they don't limit the company will literally work you to death. Some companies will work you to death before you get any kind of break. So, and here's the other thing that I always say about a practical thing about it. You should be able to make a decent living in 70 hours a week. That's almost twice what other people work. We should be making $125,000 working 70 hours a week. That ought to be plenty of time to make a living. I mean, not 80, 90, there's only 168 hours a week. This is, tons of time. So I think you'll be able to make the money. So I'm not sure. But if they don't limit the time, companies would work you forever. 100,000 dead is from leaked info. Hospital workers, leaders of China, it's a grave. Oh, did you say they're dead and it's a grave situation? He wouldn't be saying that with only 49 or 80. Again, if China says it, it's probably way more than that. School bus drivers should be on logs. Oh, right. What is the hiring age at GP Transco? That was the question. What is the minimum hiring age at GP Transco? Because I don't know. School bus drivers should be on logs. When I drove a school bus, I actually worked more hours running routes and trips than I do on a truck. Really? Darnell, I've never driven a school bus. All I know, I see ads, and it'll say, drive, 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon. Is there more hours than that to drive a school bus? Really? I guess what, on a field trip or something like that? And a school bus that is beyond the 110 miles would be required, because it's a bus that holds more than 15, to be on a log. If you're outside the driving limit, I think I'd have to look that up on motor coaches, but I think so. I don't see why not. Headed to Flying J and Hooker in Dallas. What's up, GP Transco? Flying J, maybe Hooker, Oklahoma. 250,000 infected, 100,000 dead. Really? Well, they had to wall the whole country off. Let's build a wall around that. At Maverick, at 6 months, I'm at 60 cents and a new driver. See, that's what I'm saying. The problem is, people, when they go into trucking, I'm not mad at them really, because they don't know. England runs thousands and thousands of dollars of ads all over the place. And so if you're thinking about getting into trucking, you see this ad, you call the recruiter, and they're like, oh, it's all wonderful here, and there's unicorns running around. And so people, they don't know any better. They just assume that's going to work out that way. Then you're stuck in a contract. So the only thing you can do is write out your contract and then get out of the place. The battery in the Blue Parrot is awesome. I think so, right? I only charge mine once a week, so pretty good. 24 hours after consumption of alcohol. GP Transco can tell me if I can work there. Okay, there it is. 22 and not 23, right. Time for a plague to make room on earth. That's what would happen, too. Get all your endorsements. Always get your endorsements and keep them all. Now, here's Cash's King thinks the 450 is best, right? I think you have a reason. Do you have a year of experience? Pilot changed their name to protect the innocent. Maybe so. Kind of like this Celadon thing. You can listen to any past use at any time on YouTube. That's true. Christine, I'm sorry I didn't realize you had a podcast. I've known I'd love to listen. Yeah, there were 6 episodes that I did over in the summer, and it just didn't catch on, and that's another thing I'd have to think about doing. So that's okay. I mean, this gives me more time to concentrate on this. And I get a lot of emails every day now. Some days I get 40 emails. So it just depends. And that takes a lot of time to answer that. So that gives me more time to do this. Mike Scott, nobody showers. They spend fuel rewards on wieners and taquitos and helmets. My company doesn't take my fuel points, but I tear it off the receipt. So when I turn in, they don't see how many points I'm getting. I'll let them see it. I mean, I don't think your place is going to take it. So there was a few places that started doing it, and I thought, this cannot spread. And drivers shouldn't tolerate that for 2 seconds at a company. Those points are from the truck stop to the driver. The company's not involved in those points. They're to get you really to come in and, you have some points, so you buy a sandwich and get a drink. You might otherwise not come in. That's what it's for. And to put your shower on and stuff. There's no way the company should be involved in that. And how petty of a place is that? Believe me, that's not their only problem. George Costanza saw my video on per diem, and I see I'm wrong. I'd love to have a friendly debate with you about it. If your company provides per diem and you aren't taking it, you're giving away money. I am on the other side of that. Schneider needs a sticker to put on their truck that says, I haven't ripped off any fairings yet. They could put on the fairing. There's a Schneider truck beside me getting unloaded and has both side fairings ripped off. Yeah, just if you can find one with a fairing, that would be something. Love my job. I get to listen to me on Monday, and it could be better. Right. Thank you very much. Points and showers are different. Those points are your points. If the company is going to take the fuel points, I would just throw that card in the trash. Oh, I wouldn't run their card. Right. No way. There's not going to be any points listed on there. Lyme disease goes great with coronavirus. That might be the thing. What is the company name that wants the fuel points? I don't, honestly, I don't remember, or I would have it here. I just saw there were like a few companies that were asking drivers to give them their fuel points. Basically, here's a card, and so now you're going to put the points on our card. Larry still works at England, but your contract's done and staying for 4 more months, then leaving. Made $40,000 last year. Not bad for first year. You could do better, but look, it's a living. It's probably more than you were making wherever you were because you're just coming in the industry. So it's something. In the spring, maybe you want to find something else. It's worth calling around. It's always worth calling around. Recaps on steers is a recipe for disaster. I will say that the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration did a big study. They went out and picked up thousands of pieces of rubber on the side of the road all over the country to determine what kind it was. Was it a recap or was it fresh? And the majority of it was new. There were less recap blowouts than new. Now, I don't know why that might be, but there's different things. It could have just stuck with the tire. It didn't explode. LTL is where your friend made 130 at Old Dominion, pulling triples 6 days a week, 600 miles a day. Sweet. Dayton Freight, no doubles. Line haul is 80 to 105. Line haul at the South Bend Terminal. That's not bad money, is it, to be home every day and making $100,000? That's pretty good. ShipX offers counsel. They fire some guys. Really? I need home time. Well, I don't. I will say this at ShipX. I don't understand them counseling you if they don't have any miles. Hey, why aren't you getting some miles? Because you don't give me any miles. How do they fire you if you don't have any miles? You should start taking pictures of messages and stuff. I'm not getting any miles, that kind of thing. Take pictures of everything. Everybody should do that. Every message, because you never know when you need it. But send them messages. I need some miles. You're not giving me the miles, so that there's no question later that they didn't give you the miles. Then if there's some pay problem, you can go immediately and file with the state and say, well, look, I told them 50 times they're not giving me any miles. This isn't some new thing. They don't give you the miles. So absolutely protect yourself in that. I would have recycled the Celadon trailer, but the security officer there could read. Oh, she had the one that could read. That's a problem. Was that nice lady that's in pants that are 4 sizes too small with the badge on for I can't think Securitas, right? Oh, hey, you've done that already. Talked to the lead recruiter. See, he gave a grave situation. Right. Yeah, I love it. Why can't we all just shut down and demand every truck driver make 100 a year? We're licensed professionals. It won't work. That's why, because you have to shut one company down at a time. Each company has a different problem. Some companies pay good. They treat people poorly. And it's not, every company doesn't pay the same. So what you need to do is shut one company down. The whole country, the government will step in and make you go back to work and stuff like that. Although, what are they going to do? Arrest 1 million people? Honestly, the nationwide thing doesn't work. One company at a time. For Pam, for instance, like this. So they won't pay the drivers and they go to court and they keep fighting it. Why don't the drivers just not work there? Literally on Monday, they go, okay, at noon Monday, all the trucks stop. They arrange this. And everybody sends once they're parked legally and safely, they send in a message that says, we're not moving. Call this phone number, and they need a representative there and one person. Once they see on their little boards, their walls of trucks and everything that everybody's parking, they'll call that number, believe me. And you need somebody there then that's going to stick to it, and all the drivers got to stick with that driver. And then he says, nobody moves until I tell them to move, that driver that they call. Now let's talk about pay. Believe me, you wouldn't have to go to court and go through all this rigmarole at court. You'd have them talking to you pretty quickly because their loads and stuff would be sitting everywhere. They'd froth at the mouth. They'd flop around like a fish. They'd get mad, threaten to fire everybody. Say, good. Fire everybody, go pick all your loads up on the side of the road. They're not going to do it. They're too big of a place. They can't. They would talk, and it would work at any company that is large. It would. That's what you need to do. One company at a time. You only got to do a couple companies, and the rest of them would fall in line. Simple. Super simple. I grew up in the 70s, and my dad used to say, someday there will be cameras in these trucks. One nice. And he said they had a premonition. I don't know. Yes. Wow, really? Is your dad's name? Okay. I can't think of his name. You know who I'm talking about. That would have been a good joke if I'd have thought of the name. I'm currently in a situation where the only place that will take me are second chance companies. Well, what would you say to the best of the worst of those? Well, I mean, unfortunately, if you're in that situation, Western Express will take nearly everyone, but the pay is really low. I mean, really low. And so, but it would get you experience. You can also try local companies, which has worked for some people. Go find a small company in your area that has a couple trucks, 4 trucks, so maybe a farmer that hauls also around the country, and go talk to the owner and make your case that way directly, because the owner is usually on the property when there's just a couple trucks, and say, here's the situation. This is what I need. This is what I did. Just be honest about it, and this isn't going to happen again. Doesn't matter what it is. And then see if you can do it. Some people have written to me that works. Depends on the owner of the company. Otherwise, Western Express is the place I hate to send you to, but they'll probably take you unless you've killed 9 dispatchers at your last 9 companies. We're all in a simulation, maybe. We're in a simulation where you can't see the color teal. I'm glad you enjoyed the pick from the wreck, Pete. That was pretty good. Let's see here. How long could it take you to get 100,000? A couple days of no trucks moving. We're idiots and we have to shut down. The world revolves around trucks. Yes, but you don't need, the whole country is not going to work because the government would step into it. One company at a time. Believe me. You only got to shut down a couple large companies and everybody else falls in line. Todd Heifel, it's Todd here in Humboldt, Tennessee, unloading on my way to Effingham, Illinois. Awesome. I love that Petra over there. It's good to see you. Have a contest. First to get a picture of a truck with falling, get something. That'd be pretty good. Oh, with a fairing. Yeah. A Schneider truck with a fairing. Yeah. Companies should put their address on the fairings. If found, please return to. Oh, Schneider and these other companies should put their address on there and 58 stamps on the inside of it. Please deposit it in the nearest mailbox. And then it gets sent back to, of course, there's no mailboxes, but those are things that people used to put mail in on the street corners. They're blue. So that's good, though. I used to get 10 times points at the pilot when using them to pay for scales and reimbursed by company. That's a pretty good way to do it, right? If you don't need the points. Of course, you're getting the money back. Practical mile is a joke. 713 miles on the GPS. I get paid $6.58. See, that kind of thing, Zach, ends if everybody got hourly plus overtime. You'd get paid for all your time because that's $6.58 or $7.13 driving, right? How long that might take an extra hour because of traffic. Well, you ought to be compensated for your time, not for the miles that you drive. Otherwise, you have the ShipX problem where it's a mileage thing, and that wouldn't be a problem if everybody got paid hourly. Companies are probably using the points for service calls or over-the-road repairs. Philip, can you use points? All right, if you're an owner-operator or some of my owner-operators. If you have enough points, can you do a service call or repair with your Loves card? Really? I shut Celadon down. Somebody else could do another company, right? You did? Fine. You're going to have to do Taylor Express next. Please, someone shut down England, Zach. Look, it's as easy as the drivers deciding on a day that they don't drive. At noon, everybody parks. Park not on the side of the highway, okay? You park legal and stop the truck and send a message, call, and give a phone number. I'm not moving until this person tells me to move. They'll threaten to fire you. Stand your ground, okay? And they will back down. You think England's going to go pick up what? How many thousands of trucks do they have? They fire everybody? I don't think so. Their loads especially work better at a reefer company. It's refrigerated. Say, I'm not moving on heavy fuel. Now you're going to have to figure something out. GP Transco, that's pretty crazy. A company having to fight against minimum wage. We have a $1,000 minimum when a driver's available to work for the full 5 days, and they fight against minimum. I actually didn't know that, GP Transco, so I didn't know you had a minimum pay there. That's good. I always like a place with a minimum. That's what I liked about ShipX, where you get paid also. Yeah, Pam is fighting so that they don't have to pay people $7.25 an hour. That's only $6.06. Think about that, for 70 hours. And Pam's fighting that. They're like, oh, we need to hire a bunch of $400 an hour lawyers to fight that. Tom, it will never work because there's too many company drivers now won't follow through. That's true. I mean, that's the problem. And so as long as people won't stand up like that, then they get whatever they get. And then you have to do an individual strike, which is, I don't work for low pay. That's, and you say that to yourself, you say, okay, at this level of pay, I don't work for less than that. I'm not doing it. And so that's what you have to do. D-Rye, isn't that a little bit optimistic? How can you be sure anyone else is striking when you hardly see your coworkers? You'd have to look, there's a way easily to get in touch with everybody through a Facebook group or whatever. That's how you'd link it up, I think. Or, one of these social medias. There's a lot of these social medias now that I hear there's even other ones. Anyhow, you could link all that up that way. Everybody gets in the group and everybody shuts down. You arrange it, and that's how. I don't know how you do it. Okay, but that's the solution. Getting it done, I'm thinking big picture. Everybody stops, company talks. If you can't get people to do it, then they give 36 cents a mile for Northeast Regional, basically, which they call dedicated, which is horrible. They're way behind. What? And okay, this is good, D-Right. What is a better solution? Actually, you see what you say. You don't ever see your coworkers. Fine. What's a better solution to get a company like that to pay better? But they're going to fire you every time for a little hiccup. I don't know about that. I'm on a guarantee, which I get every week, and I don't get fired here. So there's no way for a driver to contact the other drivers to arrange it. I don't know how you contact everybody other than putting something on their car or something. I don't know how you do it. Ads? I don't know. That's for somebody to figure out. But yes, that's how it's done to make it work. We're really proud to work with Smart Trucking, to be honest. Yeah, GP Transco, I heard you were over there at Smart Trucking, right? We are the first carrier they agreed to work with. They're selected because they want to show drivers things that are actually good. Yes. I like them over there at Smart Trucking. I like the channel. Welfare Express, Western cause working here, you will need welfare, but it's an honest penny. It is. Look, Western, I'm not telling you that Western is going to be some great deal. It isn't. I mean, I've seen their pay in the 20 cents, 27 cents on West Coast. That's not great pay. It just isn't. But if you don't have anywhere else to go, they'll probably hire you. I mean, and if they don't hire you, you could buy your own truck, I guess, theoretically, and you get your own authority. That's going to cost you some money. I mean, you don't have a lot of other options. Teal is illegal. We like those real trucks. I know. When am I ever going to see one? Is it at Red Lobster for Lobster Fest? Really, is there Lobster Fest going on? I don't know. I can't afford lobster. What are you guys doing here? Yes, we do advertise at Smart, right? We're really proud to work with Smart Trucking. Good. Well, look, I like the channel. It's one of the first channels I subscribe to. Let's go Mad Max. Right, we're going to need to. That's another way to do it. Here's a GP Transco. If you need information, I'm going to put that guarantee up there later about the pay guarantee. I didn't know you had a weekly pay guarantee. I didn't. So maybe I did and I forgot. Who knows? Once you're in your extreme upper 30s, it's hard to remember things. So there you go, right? Companies want automated trucks until the trucks run off the edge of the flat earth and lose the freight. Then they'll wish they had a human driver. Exactly. You know, nobody has talked about this for the automated trucks, which Waymo is out there this week also. Let's see. I have this picture. Oh, right. Waymo is going to start trucking across Arizona and New Mexico. They're going to expand it. Now, look at this Waymo truck. And we'll get to the flat earth in a second, right? But look at this Waymo truck. Look at on top of that truck. Now, I have a close-up picture of the top of this truck. Anything happens to this stuff on the top of the truck, any of that's gone, holy mackerel, the truck can't figure itself out. All these things sticking off on the top, lidars, radars, and everything. That is not going to do great. A large bird strike, a raccoon strike, anything like that. That is a real problem. I think that's a problem. And they're going to start driving these things around the country? I don't think so. And only in the South, always in the South. And true, what if the GPS goes bad and it does go off the side of the earth? Then what? Now what? It drives over the ice shelf and off into space, and you never see it again. Oh, you haven't revived yet, right? Where did this go? So I wanted to see this winner. I lost this thing here, of course. I lose my spot. Okay, winner of the GP Transco PlayStation 4. Oh, okay, for your house of gaming. Okay, right. We had a winner of a GP Transco PlayStation 4. I haven't received a dime in detention pay from England. 10 months there and nothing. Zach, what is the pay policy at England? That's the question. You know, you can only receive basically what you agree to take. Like, I always put KLLM out there because it's 4 hours, no pay, and then they pay. Okay, so if it's less than 4 hours, they don't pay you. So what's their actual pay policy at England? I'd like to know it, and I think it'd be interesting for people to know. People that used to McDonald's wage will think Sarah England pays excellent. That's the thing, and that's who they're hiring. That's what they target. They target people not making a lot of money, and you do get a pay raise, okay? 40 grand. It's not terrible money. You know, it's not the greatest money, but 40 can live on 40,000. And you can always move up in trucking. But if you're making 25 and went to 40, that's a huge pay raise. McDonald's pays more. In some places, it does. My first job was $250 a week salary, driving local in Chicago. $250 salary. How about that? Pretty good pay. I thought it was good at that time. It was about 8 hours a day, 8 hours a day. Find a good company to steal their drivers from bad companies. That's another way to do it. Of course, CRST is suing Swift for doing just that. They're back in court just this week again about it. They're saying, look, you're taking all of our drivers that are on contract here. You're not allowed to do that. Does McDonald's pay you to be sleeping? No. Should they pay? So does McDonald's doesn't pay you more until McDonald's pays you to drive home and sleep? Then you could say that. Well, no, they don't pay you to sleep. And what I'm saying is drivers should get paid for the time that they work. On-duty time and driving time should all be paid. JD just got your 32 months ago, doing okay. Had it okay for a month. That's pretty good. How do you find loads? Do you go on a load board? Because I don't, I'm not an owner-operator. Is a new terminal open at GP Transco? I can afford lobster, 0% interest for 12 months. Oh, I see how you're doing it. Eat today. I will gladly pay you next month for lobster today. I can afford a $40 steak. Oh, working at Sarah England. But then again, you don't have bills but a cell phone and have a $10,000 in your account. Well, you're rolling it. Look at where all the money. See, England, we all knew that's where the money is. It's in England. At Sierra England is a world. That's why that guy stayed alive 100 years. Does GP Transco have flatbed? Let's see what they say about that. I'm going to say no. Maybe they do. Maybe they're going to open a new division. Ryan O'Ryan made it. Good. It's about time. It's good to see it today. New Space Force will have to recover the truck. That's true. The Space Force can go do it. There's a Space Force sticker on Trucking Answers Mobile Unit 1 as well. What's up, Mark? Sitting in Tennessee doing a 34. Romulo, all right, it's good to see you here. Thank you for coming in. GP, you got to get into flatbeds. Wow. 16 an hour after the first hour. All right, Zach, that's actually not bad in the industry. I don't like it because there's an hour free, which there shouldn't be. Let me ask you this. Why haven't they paid you? There must be a special, usually companies, what they'll have is a special Qualcomm message for detention. So, and what is their excuse for not paying you if you've earned any detention up to this time? And then if they say something, what are you doing about it? Waymo has been advertising their self-driving vehicles over cabling. YouTube the last few weeks, they're coming. They have a lot of the Pacifica minivans, which you can see here, which is going to go out with them. The white vehicle, which I'm pointing at here with the arrow, which doesn't do any good, is going to go follow the truck around. So that's going to be out there with him, the Pacifica. But the semis are coming too. They're actually testing a few self-driving cabs in Phoenix where they don't actually have a driver in them. This point is if you're driving a truck, stack as much money as you can and go do something else. Trucking really doesn't pay. Long hours, dangerous conditions, and forever increasing rules. Well, Bounty Boy, that's true depending on what you do, I guess, as well. Right? LTL drivers, I have many LTL drivers ride in at 100 plus at our home every day. They don't have to worry about, long hours and dangerous conditions, that kind of stuff, because, if they're doing a Texas, Florida thing, LTL home daily, it just depends what you do. So what I'm saying, whether the pay is good or not, depends on what you're doing. You could get paid in roller wieners. That's some kind of pay I could accept. Mark, you and these other popular YouTube channels are the perfect orchestra for a trucking revolution. Popular? Put up a petition, pick a company to start with, and we shut down the next day. That would be great. I'd have to have all the people at that company watching the channel, though, right? I mean, so that's probably not going to happen. So I don't know how I would direct that because not everybody watches it. That's a good idea. Through several other channels. It would get to a lot of drivers. That would be pretty interesting to do. I like that I'm a popular YouTube channel. I appreciate that. I'm just somebody, a driver out here on YouTube. The last company I worked for picked up like 6 Sierra England drivers because they weren't making anything. I know. If you're sitting and they're not getting paid and they say they'll pay you, that's a huge problem. Good luck. I'm looking forward to spotting for you one day. Yeah, get on over there. Well, Bill, we look forward to it. Good. I look forward to go up there and see you up there. But you can drive that new Lincoln over there. But KLLM has 9 million mile driver. It must be the best company ever. Yeah, they do. KLLM. And by the way, that guy's probably 12 million miles by now. I did a video about this guy, which KLLM didn't back down from. That claims this guy has 9 million safe miles at KLLM. So pretty good. Frankie 16, STA just got new insurance and fired 30 employees. Nice. Because the insurance wants drivers with 2 years experience. No tickets and must be over 25 years or older. Well, because they know they're going to be better drivers. So that's a problem. So you're there with a year and a half and they go, sorry, our new insurance doesn't allow you to work here. That's pretty interesting. You'd think they would grandfather the people that were there. But that's always a problem at any job. If you work for somebody else, anywhere in any field, generally they can just go, you're fired and you're done, just like that. It's not, people always think like, oh, I'll go get a job so that I have a stable income. A stable income is only produced by yourself when you work for yourself. If a job doesn't provide a stable income, you can be fired at any time. The new hard line at Swift in Salt Lake City is always long with Sierra England drivers. That really says something. Is it England drivers here, everyone else over there? That's pretty terrible. Swift is considered an upgrade. I know people are like, well, I got to get over to Swift. I can't wait to get out of here. I want that shirt. Ryan, who uses load boards, but mainly certain brokers or customers. You've got to depend completely on load boards. God help you. I don't think you can. Could you do your whole life on load boards? I'm not sure. Rumpelstiltskin, take a shower and wear clean clothes. That's always helpful. Does England pay for a 34-hour reset? I'm going to say no, but we'll see. You have to know how to negotiate. All right. Hammer down, heading to the hospital. Bobtail, get your new baby girl. I'll be darned. Look at that. A new trucker comes into the world. That's pretty good. Some carriers will do hotel rooms for East, but most aren't going to pay for 34 hours off duty. That's terrible. Big Country, do you run any trucks beside Cascadias at GP Transco? KLL lied to your friend promised $23 an hour with 45 hours guaranteed. Sweet, on local work. Then they stopped the 54-hour promise and said for 3 days. I love it. Get that in writing. All that stuff should, of course, be in writing in advance. Like this, a pay like that would be on a driver manual, something like that, so they should guarantee it in writing. But always get everything in advance. New York City needs driverless cabs. No big deal. You can't understand them anyway. Yeah, basically, you don't know what they're saying. When you get in a cab and you couldn't understand the guy, you're like, am I in the wrong cab? Is this a real cab? Got a $130 ticket from a camera, ran a yellow, fully loaded. Can I fight it? If you can prove the light was yellow, here's the problem. How do you prove the light's yellow? Is it in the picture that the light's yellow? I mean, otherwise, you're going to have to pay it, right? Because it's your word against the camera. And the camera just takes the picture. So if the light is red in the picture, you're done. If it's yellow, yeah, fight it absolutely. I don't sit unless on a 34, and pre-tension is after 2 hours, pre-detention, and $10 an hour for every hour at Sierra England. Yeah, that's something. Most food service companies pay well, but you better be in athletic condition. Yeah, you don't have to do that kind of work, though, to be LTL. LTL, less than truckload, right, my journey. So generally, drivers that are local, yellow, would be considered LTL, where you make multiple pickups to fill up the trailer. UPS is an LTL company. Less than a truckload of freight. Swift is a truckload carrier. That's what they're considered, even though they have shorter loads. Like Dayton Freight would be an LTL carrier because usually there are multiple pickups for them. And a lot of those drivers, not all of them, but many of them are home every day. And the night drivers, it's usually at night, that do line haul, which is basically what I do. And what I really recommend to people over time is you go from a terminal to terminal or terminal to somewhere and drop off and come back. And you're back home that same day, the next morning, whatever. You're not out overnight. You stay home and you get paid for all of your time. And so it's pretty good. You don't have to worry about getting parking when you do that. You don't have to worry about scales and all that kind of stuff. You generally don't have those problems. It makes it easier to make money. Truckers need to stack their money and do something else. Trucking is no longer a career. Trucking is still a career, I think. It just depends on where you are. If you're at a place, if you're at a place that doesn't, you're like, oh man, I can't stay here. I don't make any money here. You got to leave. I'm telling you, I get letters all the time from people making $100,000 in trucking that don't work hard. Okay, that don't work hard. It can happen. These Old Dominion drivers, a lot of them are Old Dominion. It's almost always, though, an LTL driver. Almost every time. It's some kind of large LTL place that they've been for a while, and that's where they make money. And that's for everybody to do. Yes, hazmat is worth it if they pay you extra for it. Can you be fired without notice, just like SDI? Certainly. Most states allow you to just be fired. You're an at-will employee, and you can just be fired. So, yeah, they can just go in. I could go in today, and they go, you know what? We don't like you anymore. You're fired. So it's simple as that. Yep. Just like that. They can fire you. Unions usually can't do that. Less than truckload, multi-stop. Generally multi-stops. And then the night people, usually it's at night, is line haul. Terminal to terminal or something like that is line haul. Night. That's all part of LTL companies. Ryan, my insurance won't cover less than 25 and 3 to 5 years experience. Disappointing, makes it harder for small companies to hire. You're right. But who do you want to hire? Do you want to hire, 21 and no experience? I don't know. Most LTL, multiple pickups and deliveries each day. Right. The daytime people may have 20 or 30 stops a day, maybe more. I don't know. That's a lot of work, but you're home every day. You don't have to worry about a lot of the things that people worry about. And that time that you're sleeping in the truck for free, LTL drivers are at their house for free. They're doing whatever they want on their free time when other drivers are at the back of the loves. Corgi is at Western Express right now. Been waiting on a trainer for a few days, but that's a whole other story entirely. Do they pay you for that time at Western? And how has it been at Western so far? Alexander stopped at the Flying Hooker in DFW. Yikes. You're at the Pilot Company, right? Pilot Company. Frankly, yes, some states vary, but my stage is a fire on spot, no reason state. Yeah, most states are like that. You can just be fired. You can't be fired for the wrong reason. Like they say, the protected class, they can't go, you're a woman, you're fired, okay? You're this religion, you're fired. They can't do that, but they can just go, you're fired. And it's just as simple as that. And that's at any job, any field, trucking or anything else. A job's never the stable way to think I'm going to have a paycheck my whole life. That's not how to think of getting money for your life. It isn't. Al John's like LTL and long haul. Right. It's pretty nice, right? We'd rather not fill Mark's chat with GP talk. Please give us a call. Look, GP, you're here to... I love that companies are here like GP Transco to answer questions. So if people have a question for you, and you want to answer it, no problem. Go ahead and answer it. That a company would answer questions, I think it's really good. Is it worth getting started as an owner-operator at a place like Landstar? Matt. Oh, well, let's see what owner-operators think. I'm not one to take that kind of risk on a truck. It's not for me. Doesn't mean it's bad. There are owner-operators on here that would be happy to tell you that. Trucking's the perfect career if you're single going over the road. Well, that's true, Michael Muller. That might be the best thing to do if you're single and don't have a place to live. Do you have a place to live, like an apartment or anything like that? Because if not, how much money can you stack up living in that big truck, right? Tons of it. So yeah, that's a great way to do it. Even at the 40 from our previous person here, even 40 grand, you can still stack up money when you live in the truck. Absolutely. Trucker black, hourly or cents per mile? I recommend hourly for everybody. I think every driver should get paid by the hour for all of their time that they work, including overtime. That's how it should be. I can work for you. Got the coronavirus. Sorry. Yikes. So you're the next one out. Old Dominion in Atlanta pays 30 hours a day shift, 30 an hour. Okay, that's pretty good. Right. That's better than most road drivers get because you get this sitting in traffic or whatever. Is it me or Love's popping up all over the place? I just read that they're going to build like 40 more Loves coming up, which is good. That's more parking for people that need it, right? Even though they're not huge, I like the Loves. I think it's the best truck stop chain. Matt Holberg, there are so many out there to lease on with. It's a matter of which one's going to be best for your needs. Every driver's, every place is different. I own a house with 2 Jeep Commanders. Wow. And a wife and a kid. You have 2 Jeep Commanders and a wife and a kid. Okay, so you're not part of the single group ride. I remember the Jeep Commanders. They don't make them anymore, right? Love it. I hope they have Hemis in them. I don't remember. Love's doing the one thing wrong, though. Brand new one, 120 parking spots, only 3 stalls in the men's room. Oh, that's great. How many showers are in there? Of course, not many people use them. James, what's the average New York City bonus being paid? 10 years ago, I was getting 100 across to George Washington. Current company pays 50. Don't mind New York City for the bonuses, right? Has anybody get a New York City bonus? I know there's some companies that pay it. I don't go that far out, so I don't know. I never got $100 across it, I'll tell you that. How much does the wife and kid cost? QCD in Apopka, Florida pays $90 a year for a local driver. That's not bad. That's a lot more than many road drivers make and home every day. And plus, you live in Florida. How great is that? Consider renting a room from a retired person like I do, so you'll have a legal residence for tax purposes. I don't pay utilities, cable, or internet like you would have renting an apartment. Okay, that's a good idea. I don't know if anybody's done this. I always wondered, can you use the UPS store? Because they give you a physical address. Like I have a UPS box there. That's an actual physical address. It's not a P.O. box. You get a street address. So I wonder, would that be considered an actual address? I should look into that. I never refer to myself as a driver. I like to think of myself as a commodities relocation engineer. Oh, engineer too. Perfect for you. Love's never charges for parking. Yeah, I haven't seen any that charge for parking yet. They're putting a Love's by the TA in Chicago. Oh, Chicago needs how much more parking? Love's announced that they were building more and they were bringing Bojangles to northern Illinois, Indiana. Really? We don't have any Bojangles. We don't have any Popeyes either. The nearest Popeyes is like in Lebanon, so no Popeyes. I haven't even gotten to try the new sandwich that everybody did videos about. Holy mackerel, no Popeyes up here. Really don't know how, for some reason, the rules for trucking are different than AMM. What's AMM? My 2 Commanders have the V6. Okay, Pentastar, right? 3.6 in them, right, I think. Smith pays 50 or 75 going into New York City. Why different? Different time of the day. Joe gets $150 to cross the bridge. Wow. When I first moved, I paid an RV park $150 a month for the address. That's not a bad idea. Rent an RV space. Oh, that's pretty good. You don't actually have to put a place on it. Rent a cheapest spot in an RV park. That's a very good idea. I never really thought about that. You all need to be a friend with a worker in QCD at Popco, though I quit because they were biased. Friends only. Well, so they got that kind of thing going. My wife and kids are your biggest expense. What about this kind of an expense? If I could find it, right? She's not impressed. She's a bigger expense than that, right? Isn't that a big expense to be considering about? Can we drive legally with the Love's armor helmet on? Yes, I recommend it for safety purposes. How much safer would you feel using that helmet? I work for now in an England 3-bunk truck. I don't think you could because there's a bunk right over your head. So you'd have to get the low clearance one. George Costanza, I work for Wiener. Best load I ever had was picking up Cummins engines out of Lakewood, New York. Originally taking it to Indy, to Cummins, right? They asked me if I wanted to run it all the way to Laredo. Yes, thank you. That's pretty good. All the way down there, that's not a bad load. And that's what I always liked about reefer on the road, is that I thought you got longer loads. I always got really long loads running that over the road. I really like it. So I was getting 3,000 miles sometimes. That's your whole week is taken care of. When you pick that load up on Friday, you're Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it delivers Friday morning. That's pretty good. You don't have to worry about anything all week. JNS, average cents per mile with 1 year, 50. You can get 50. There's Maverick starting at 50. There are people getting 45 to 55 1 year without too much of a hassle out here. So 50, let's go 50 plus. Oh, here, GP Transco, that's another one, right? 50 cents plus bonuses. So, you can do that, no problem. Do any Best Buy runs? We see a lot of Werner trucks near Best Buy at GP Transco. Really? Michigan Secretary of State doesn't allow UPS store address. Not sure if a tax authority would recognize it. George H.W. Bush. Well, the president would know. Here's the thing. I think that RV, that's better. That might be an actual address. How about that? Anyone know of any good local companies in Milwaukee? You know what? After thinking about the RV thing, what if you rented a spot in a trailer park? Well, literally, whatever it is, $250, in some run-down trailer park. So you pay $250 or $350 a month. That would be a space. You don't have to put a trailer on it, right? You go, I'll rent this space. That is an address because people live there. So that absolutely would have to be an address. So worst case, I think that is a solution. Oh, Best Buy's a dedicated account at Werner. Nice. Love's got the armor gloves to match the helmet. Oh, do they now? Really? Oh, that's good. Those are good for knife fights. Perfect driving gloves for LA. Yes, right. Tom P. think a UPS drop would be considered the same as a P.O. box by the IRS. Oh, well, but the UPS box is an address. Okay, it isn't, it's not a P.O. box. It's a street address. Cash is king. I want to walk up to the scale house with all the armor, geared up paperwork just to see the reaction. The funny thing is they probably they have it on too. He goes, oh, good choice. I think I'm going to quit trucking and go to the Yukon gold mining. That'd be really something up there. To go gold mining in the Yukon. I'd like to see somebody do that. You're going to go with him, Ryan. It would require me moving to another fleet manager, and I love my manager. Fleet manager keeps me rolling. Having a great dispatcher is half the battle. That's true, George Costanza. And making your fleet manager happy, that makes you happy, right. Can haul the gold equipment up there. Most government agencies don't recognize the UPS box as an address. It's not a box, though. The problem is, the UPS store is a physical address. Your address is an address. It's a street address. It isn't like box 10. It's a street address. So I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't recognize it. I do think that either the RV park or an actual trailer park where you rented a space for a couple $100 a month, $250 a month or whatever, I think that certainly the trailer park would be an address. People live there, and so they absolutely get mail there. That's an address. We rent a space at a trailer park, you can park your truck on the lot instead of mobile home, and slot is long and wide enough. Oh, if they'll let you bring it in there, that's not a bad idea too. You could actually plug it in. The DMV of Virginia recognizes your UPS box, so you have a box, that's an address. It's not considered a domicile. I don't know if you got one of the bigger boxes. It might be. The Loves in Winnemucca is carrying steel-toed Crocs with the truck logo. You pick your Western Star, Kenworth, whatever you want. You pick it on there. Not considered a domicile. It's open 24 hours a day. Loves in Winnemucca is carrying steel-toe Crocs, right? Well, we'd go to work for some of the guys from the Gold Rush show. Oh, I never saw that show. The UPS address comes up as a red flag. Oh, so they know the address. Dang it, those people. But a spot, and that's a good idea if they would let you. At some trailer parks, you're not going to get your truck in. I'm thinking there's a dumpy trailer park out on 25 with trailers from like the 50s in there that still have the lights on them and stuff. They still have tail lights. That place, that cannot be but a couple $100 a month because they have some spots that are like 40 feet long or whatever. You know, those old trailers. That's not a bad idea. Get a UPS box in a city that has easy access for you. Well, I'm just thinking of it to use it as an address. That would be so fun. I've always wanted to do something like that, Roger Penske. UPS stores a valid physical address for a U.S. citizen. Oh, okay. No state or inferior unit of government can require you to have a physical address other than that. Okay. That I'll tell them that. You are an inferior unit of government. The UPS address works for me. I will not say I used it, but trust me, it works. Okay. I don't see why it wouldn't work. It's an address unless they already have it red flagged, right? The President, George H.W. Bush, it is an address, but I think they cross-reference it with post office for a valid address. Find a cheap room on Craigslist, get your mail there, and place to sleep in a real bed. Well, what I'm saying for a single driver, you don't need a bed necessarily. I've always recommended, and I was going to do this and didn't, people go into trucking at 21 and live in the truck for 5 years. Literally live in the truck. When you come home for Christmas or whatever, get a motel room for a week. Stay at a Marriott for a week or whatever and rent a car from, get an Enterprise for a week and then go back on the road. And you still need an address to live, though. So that's not a bad way to do it, and just save your money where you don't need a place to stay because you're not going to sleep in a bed for 5 years. What does Dave Ramsey say? Live like no one else now so you can live like no one else later. That's Dave Ramsey right there. Oh, I got a piece of paper. That's better. It's an address, but I think they cross-reference it right. Okay, here's how to get around the DMV. Anything else, do not put box number. They use number, they think it's an apartment. 1, 2, 3, 4, anywhere, right. Oh, yeah, what about suite or something, apartment, something like that? As long as the number's on it, it wouldn't matter. The IRS does not fall for the UPS Florida address. I tried that. Dang it. An ounce of gold is worth $1,364. Yeah, the DMV recognized the UPS box, but most other government agencies will not send or transfer mail to it. Dang it. You can get a U.S. passport with a UPS address. Okay, so you can travel the world with it. You just can't get mail there? I should have tried the trailer park idea. Didn't think of that one. Yeah, I never thought of that. But find the dumpiest, worst trailer park in town and get that address. And just stick a mailbox up in front of the address maybe if you want to get your mail there. 7371 Atlas Walkaway, Gainesville. Just use unit number for your box number, and that allows you to establish residency. Is that your house? I got $100 to go to New York City, but nothing to New York, Jersey. How come they don't pay you to go to Jersey? They ought to pay you something for that, too. Anything east of, say, I don't know, I-35 ought to pay extra. I have a great deal, which is one reason I still have a New York CDL. I have the entire basement of the home in privacy, all to my personal property. Is there without the expense of renting a storage unit. That's as long as it works for you. I actually lived in the truck when I worked for Maverick. As long as you get a place that will let you live in the truck and save money, just stay in the truck for 5 years at 21 years old. Most people won't do it. I didn't do it. Should have done it. Most people won't do it. But if you can do it, holy mackerel. Being a little stifling, but just get a room when you start to feel stir crazy. Right. Every once in a while, if you want and you got a weekend off or something, get a motel room. Take a Uber over to your motel or something somewhere. And then when you come home for holidays or whatever, just get a room there for a week and rent a car. A diesel weasel had a call. Did you get the last message? What message is that? No, I guess not. I still live in my truck for the most part. I love this channel. Stay safe. As Al John's leaving, thank you for being here. Alexander, what's everyone's opinion on paid parking? What do people think about the paid parking? I have a different take on it than most people. So what do you, like Rush, what do you people think? You people. Cash is king trucking. Yeah, I'm not saying I tried to use the UPS box to get out of state income taxes, but the IRS didn't think it's a good idea. I'm not, okay, right. I wouldn't say to ever cheat the IRS out of stuff or do anything like that. I'm just trying to have an address established for your license. And that's where you would pay tax or whatever. Don't do it to avoid taxes. Nobody wants to do that. The IRS, we all love them. They're the best ever. I send them birthday cards at their birthday and everything. They're super great. So we love them. We're going to love them here in a few months again. Ray from Trailer Park Boys does a sleeper cab in Sunnyvale Trailer Park. I'd live in my truck just to eat and pay off my house and then just do real estate game, but it got a wife. Dang it. Sell the wife. I don't know about that. Just get the address of the crappiest trailer park and get your mail forwarded to the P.O. box. Oh, you could do that, I guess. Right. You could also do that rather than putting a mailbox up. The problem is years and years ago, I had a P.O. box. And they said, because I got a small box, and I go, well, what happens if it fills up? Oh, well, if there's too much mail, we put it in a bigger box. But if you don't come and get it in a certain period of time, we send it back. So I don't know how UPS would work that in or if they still do that now. What's going on 210 westbound? On the 210 because it's California. Used your old dad's address, save money. Yeah, if there's a dad around, you could do that. Street bums get free shiitake with no physical address. That's true. I mean, there are agencies. I don't know if you want to do that, really, but I think a homeless agency would let you use their address and say, look, I'm homeless. I'm out here in the truck. I'm only making $100,000. I'm homeless. I need an address. So I guess you could do that. I used apartment number for my box, and they saw right through it. Dang it. How about Sweet? Use Sweet. About ShipX firing or counseling drivers that they don't achieve 12,000. Yes. Okay, I did see that, and I think it's interesting. That's why I think you should take pictures of all your messages and constantly be telling them, I want miles. You're not giving me miles, and take pictures of that so that if you do get fired for it, I'd go immediately to the state to get unemployment and say, well, look, they fired me. I'm trying to work. They won't let me work. Really, they laid me off, so I need unemployment. That's how I would do it, but you need the proof in advance, not the last one message. You should be saving these all the time. I want to run. You won't let me run. I want to run. There's no work for me. That kind of thing. Take those pictures, and then if they do fire you, go down there and go, look, they laid me off. There's no work for me. And you just turn it right around on them and let them say to the state, why they fired you. George Costanza, if you're a single truck driver and think of doing owner-operator, you should be establishing residency in Texas. 0 state income tax and no personal tax. All right, there's a few states like that, right? I never thought about that. I guess you could do that if you're anybody. No personal property tax because if something has wheels, it's not subject to property tax. All right. Fleet Nav Systems is going to Matt's. They won't have a booth, but the two of us will be there. All right, hoping to see you there. Here's Fleet Nav Systems information, and we're going to get to Matt's here. They're the Geotab experts. They'll be at Matt's. I'll be at Matt's too. Be sure to put at in front of the Fleet Nav Systems if you have a question about that. Let's talk about Matt's. And I've got a thing for Matt's. All right, so Matt's. It's coming up at the end of March. You've got to get tickets. You've got to order the tickets by February 25th to get free tickets. If you haven't ordered them, they're free to come on down. It's in Louisville, Kentucky. It's the biggest show in trucking every year. And it's in Louisville this year like it is every year at the end of March. And I'll be there at least on Friday of the truck show. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Fleet Nav Systems will be there as well, apparently. We'll be out walking around. I'm trying to figure out how to tell everybody where I am. I'm working that out. I don't know. YouTube stories. I don't know how to get the information out there. We'll work on that as we get closer to it. But certainly, the Mid-America Truck Show, it's almost here. Get your tickets. And come and say hi. I'd love to see everybody. I want to see everybody at the show. I had no physical address when I worked for the DOT out of Ardmore, Oklahoma, Roger Penske. I do know some places do want you to have an address. Ryan, paid parking. I don't do it. I'd roll till I find a spot. I have enough expense that the money can buy food and drinks. You use unit number for your UPS address. Oh, nice. Unit. It's on the wording. I like paid parking. Alexander, LTI reimburses for it. Well, that's super nice. And you're always promised a spot at the end of the day. I like it too for the, that's a good way to do it. If you can reserve a spot that is guaranteed to be there and your company's going to pay for it, you don't have to worry about planning, I'm going to have to drive around for an hour to try and find a parking place. While Bill uses your brother's house as an address for your license, why do you do that? You have a place to live. Christina has a post office box now. I think sending mail back would probably depend on the post office. I've got home for sale to travel in an RV. All right. That works too for now, right? But I don't know if you can renew your license on a PO box. I don't know about that. I want to see what Gracie thinks about that. She doesn't have an opinion on it either. But I don't know if you can renew a license on a P.O. box. I guess if you travel in an RV, I don't know how you would get your mail. Alexander uses your mom's address for your stuff, and your tax stuff goes there too. That works out. If you've got parents still left living, I guess and they'll let you. You could use their address while you're on the road. Certainly, that's always family is like the first way you could do it. I'm just thinking of a way to get somebody an address that doesn't have any way to get an address. I live in Florida. You can actually look up boat slips. Oh, nice. And pay $10 per foot. Oh, I got a 1 foot boat. And if you buy a cheap boat that's 20 feet long, you have to pay $200 a month, and they have mailboxes. What if you only have a 1 foot boat? What if you made a boat out of paper and you folded it up? I mean, do you actually have to put a boat in the slip? That's what I'm thinking about this RV park / trailer park. I want to rent this spot here, which just has a pad, and you never put a trailer on it. Why do you have to put a boat in the slip if you're renting the slip? You just buy the smallest slip they have. How about that? A big P.O. box is, what, $100 a year? They're not super expensive, right? I don't know what the gigantic one is. I'm just saying. UPS will hold mail for you as long as you ask them to. That is correct. Mom and Dad used to take off 3 months at a time, and they have their mail forwarded to the UPS. Right. Tennessee also has no income tax. Right. My little UPS box, if I get something big in there, they just hold it for you. And they'll send you an email now when you get something bigger. I can't go because of surgery. Well, look, you go get your surgery, and we'll see you at the next show. And probably at the Walcott Jamboree in July, which we'll talk about as July. So maybe you could plan for that if you can be out there. And maybe we'll see you there. I'll see you out at the Jamboree. Rhino's going to be at Matt's. Good. Be there Fleet Nav Systems will be there Thursday and Friday, so we can see them. Oh, they're coming the first day. Nice. Did you get the press pass too there? I'm not doing that. Roy Gmail signing off. Sorry, I know I will be missed. You will be. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. GP and Fleet Nav Systems could share both. Yeah, I don't know if GP still on here. GP Transco, and are you going to be at Matt's this year? I think they had said no earlier. Wild Bill will be at the truck show. Good. It will be good to see you. I'll be able to pick you out of the crowd, no problem. Hello, Mark, your friendly San Antonio tow truck driver. Welcome in. It's good to see you. You could share your location on Google Maps so people can find you. Oh, that's an interesting way to do it, wouldn't it be? That's true. I didn't think about that. All right. But it wouldn't, I don't know if it would work inside the building. How about getting a couple spotter tractors and offer valet parking for drivers not sure themselves parking in tight situations? $10 to park your truck. Half the time I reserve a parking spot and there's no spot when you get there. What the heck is that? They say they can't wake up the driver and will reimburse me. So you have to find another spot. No way. Now what place can and what place is doing that? Because I would write immediately to corporate about that and start yelping them on that kind of thing, because that's the idea of the reserved spot. I got an extra house empty mailbox. I leased it out. That's a good idea. They have companies that send it to you. My parents are only in their mid-40s. Oh, I'm hoping they'll be around for a while. That's correct, and that's good. You young kids today, I swear, right. So, and they'll let you use their address, so you got it made on the address, right. After my divorce, I was officially homeless, and I remain that way. Oh, all right. Well, that's been a while. You still living in the town car? Never had that issue. They always clear out a space for me, Nomad Trucker. Look, if you're paying for a spot at a truck stop and you've reserved it and they guarantee a reservation, it's not, they can't just give you your money back. That is your spot. I mean, holy mackerel. They're like airlines. They overbook and then they basically bump you. If they oversold the spots, park at the fuel line, place trash can behind trailer. I've always wondered if I pull up to this fuel line, I bet it works. Valet parking at truck stops. Oh, that wouldn't be a bad idea. $25 each and you'll park the trucks. If I ever end up like that, I'll do the same. Hopefully you don't end up like that. Do I think paying drivers hourly would take away from their motivation to constantly be on time? Also, it could cause drivers to frequently reject loads. I don't think so. A lot of people in the world other than drivers get paid hourly. And they still come to work, right? All the car manufacturers, everything, cars are still made on time. And rejecting loads, no. You make a company policy that you can't reject loads if you have the hours, which really, right, most companies have for company drivers. If you have the hours to do a load, you have to do the load. It's as simple as that. If you reject the load, you stop getting paid. So, that's pretty easy because you have the hours to do it. Or if the company says just take it for the hours that you have and then go to bed, absolutely, you have to work. And I think, look, do people think like nobody comes into McDonald's or nobody makes a car? Like I'm right down from the Subaru plant. They pay hourly. Those people are, I'm sure if they're late, I understand it's 2 late in a year and you're fired. So it's the same kind of thing. People should, if you're paid hourly, you should go to work on time and do your job correctly, 100%, no matter what you're getting paid, really. If you don't like a job, you should quit. But you don't get to do half the job because you think you're getting paid half. You have to do a good job. And so I don't think so. Otherwise, why doesn't everybody, like at the car plant, why don't they get paid, per piece or whatever? Because, that doesn't happen. Alexander, don't let anyone touch my truck. I get angry about folks messing with my stuff. We're just trying to get it parked for you. It'd be nice to get valet. Misty is back. Good morning. Good afternoon to you. Hello. Several flying J's at Illinois. Really? You should immediately write to them. Believe me, on their website, there's a way to contact them. And I'd Yelp them all day long, everywhere I could review them and everything else. Because you paid for that spot. That's the idea of reserving the spot in advance. Chef Matt is here. Good afternoon. I can see hourly pay creating lazy drivers. No need of being on time. No, because you get fired. When you get paid the same no matter what. Myself and many prefer a load pay or percentage of the load. I'm not in it. I guess, man, do I have a better work ethic? I don't think so. Look, I would come to work, you pay me. If I'm supposed to be there at 10, I'm there on time. I don't show up late. It's bad form. And then I look bad. I'm like, why are you late? Oh, because I'm an idiot. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think so because I would be on time. But what about all the other companies? Every other company where anybody works, Wabash National is right here in Lafayette. They're all paid hourly, right? All these large Acelas here, right, which is Arvin, Meritor Place, Aluminum Place, they get paid hourly. Everybody gets paid hourly. And all those people, when the shift starts, they're there on time. Because if you're late, you get fired. So it's as simple as that. And I think that rejecting a load, I wouldn't tolerate it. As a company, you say, look, and you have them agree to this in advance, that you have to, it's forced dispatch, and then enforce it. That's how I think it should be done. Chef Matt enjoys being in the live stream. I appreciate you being here. I stay with a friend near work and stay with my ex on weekends, but never change my address. Hey, fair enough. I didn't realize you didn't have an address, considering what you do. So I just got my CDL and live in Arizona. Does anyone know of a good company that hires new guys besides Prime Incorporated? Who do you think would take a good driver in Arizona? Paid spots get taken by drivers who didn't pay for them and then ignore the knock on the door, and the truck stop doesn't have any recourse. Be nice to see those guys booted. Be nice to see them towed away. If you're in a paid spot, you know it's a paid spot, and you can't ignore the thing on the door, they should be towed. They should have a tow truck. Look, you wouldn't have to do it very often. Word would get around on your little, that trucker path, that drivers that are in paid spots that don't pay get towed. Simple. I got paid hourly at a grocery store, and I'd sleep on top of the walk-in freezer for hours. Well, but see, that's you. See, UFO, Z, right? That's kind of a you thing, isn't it? That you don't have a good work ethic. If you agree to do a job, no matter what it is, you should be a professional and do it. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're working at McDonald's, if you're you're making cars, you're at Wabash National, they tell you to come in and work this time, you do the work. You agree to do it. Why is it different? Like, we expect a company to treat us well. Oh, we're professionals, but then we're like, oh, well, now I'm paid hourly. I'm going to go 40 miles an hour. That's not right. You're no better than that company then, that you expect is going to treat you poorly. The drivers are no better than that. You can't do that. That can't be the way it is. It can't be the way it is. Some Jays call the sheriff. I think you should be towed immediately. Michael, what's up? What's happening? Those ones should be towed out a lot. I agree. They ought to have a tow truck on standby. If you don't have that thing in your window, you are towed immediately. Who still gets mail? All my stuff is paperless. There's still mail that comes. Plus, what about all the junk mail I get? George Costanza, CRST dude just dropped his trailer right in front of me. Should I go help him? He dropped it. What, it came off of his truck? Yeah, you should help him if he needs it. Thanks, Mark. That's good advice. I'm just going to hand their truck back and find something that gets me home in Louisiana. Mark is the trucking revolution. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And yeah, if you're like that, it's time to get out of there because it's never going to end. It's my choice. I don't like to pay too much for anything just because I live in Crook County. I know. I mean, you live in like one of the most expensive places to live, like in the top 5. Someone just walked by me at this pet store. He smelled like pee. I wanted to offer him a shower credit. Yeah, you should say, hey, you know what? You need this way more than I do. Truck stops are private property. If they say move, you have no choice. Oh, I agree. They should tow you. They should have a sign there and it said immediate tow, and you should immediately get towed away. Romulo, keep up the great work. Time to do laundry. Oh, nice. So you're coming over here to do my laundry too? Stay safe out there, and truck drivers, stop paying for parking. If you could do it all, do it. Yeah, don't pay for it if you don't have to, I guess. But it's nice if you get a company that pays for it for you. Work ethic is irrelevant. The company could tell if you're not moving, and company that was paying hourly could definitely get front-facing cameras. Yeah, look, that's the other thing, right? Now, this isn't like 100 years ago when you could say, well, I was stuck in traffic. They know if that truck is moving. And if you've stopped 14 times, for brakes all the time, they know it. So absolutely. And the hourly could come with bonuses, where there's some kind of bonus system as well. But all the time needs to be paid. This extra free time of all this. This is another thing at Walmart that I had written down here. Okay, so Walmart this week is going to appeal their $55 million verdict, okay? Because they had to pay drivers, including pre-trip and post-trip, okay? What Walmart says is that, during this pre-trip time, drivers are free to do whatever they want. We don't make them do that stuff. That's not us making them do it, so we don't have to pay them for it. I mean, this kind of garbage is just ridiculous. They don't want to pay for the pre-trip and post-trip time, and so they're appealing the $55 million verdict by saying that drivers not under our control during that time. And the court is saying, we don't think so. But it's going back in. How is that not controlled by the company? Werner has a Phoenix terminal and pays pretty well for training. $650 a week, which is better than some. Throughout training, even when you're waiting for a trainer. Good. That's what they should do. If you're waiting, it isn't your fault, and they ought to pay you. But then, on the other side, you should work, too. Newsflash, there are lazy drivers getting cents, too, but they get less. Stewart Transport, Misty says, Stewart Transport in Phoenix hires local, over-the-road, and regional. I have friends there with good equipment and good peeps, depending on the run. Local, regional, pay hourly, or pay miles. Yeah, absolutely, right. Alexander still gets a subscription to a couple magazines. Come to your mom's house and enjoy reading material. We get a couple magazines, too. I don't have any. The wife has a couple subscriptions, so there's still mail. The Duke Energy bill, they still send you a bill. It was a small store. I get work done and then take a nap. I have much better work ethic now. Okay, right. You've come into it. But even you must look back at that and think you're stealing. You're literally stealing money from the company, because if they're paying you to work and you're not doing anything, that's not right. If you're done with your work. Fleet Nav Systems had to step out and take a call. Did you miss anything? It's always exciting here. I'll buy my own heavy-duty tow truck and tow all those parked where they shouldn't be. They ought to have a thing with a tow company, like here, right? If you park in town anywhere in a handicap spot, boom, they're out there towing you out of there. Why not this kind of thing? Here's Musafar, who was first on Thursday. In my opinion, there's nothing worse than lollygagging on the job to make hours. The day just drags that way. Work hard, move quickly, get the job done. I agree with that, but you should work hard because you should work hard. You agree to do a job at a certain pay, whatever it is, and you got to do the job then. You can't say, I ought to make 20 cents more than this, so I'm not going to work hard. No, that isn't right. You agree to the pay to start with. So I'm not a fan of that at all. There are lazy butts everywhere, but it seems that pay instills motivation for a driver to get there safely and quickly. I don't know about that. If they cut your pay on a load, would you not deliver the load safely? I mean, I don't know. You could call the tow truck yourself. I don't think you would have the authority to call a tow truck for somebody in the spot. It's the Love's property. Towing laws are funky. Believe it or not, you just can't tow. Can't just tow. Why not? It's Love's property. They put up a sign that those without a proper parking permit are towed immediately. Boot it, block them in something. Dave Johnson, got to get ready for work. Consider a weekly rant column. Yeah, we may do an escape weekly rant column. Corey, I've done all aspects of towing for almost 10 years. Why can't trucks be towed out of those spots? Of course, another situation where people that don't drive trucks legislate for trucks. Oh, that's typical, right? Gotta love Duke. Hey, Alexandria. Yeah, Duke is not bad down here compared. My sister-in-law lives in Northwest Indiana in Hammond and has NIPSCO, which her bill is super expensive. So I'm kind of happy with Duke down here. $82 last month. That's all electric, including the stove, everything. Paid parking comes in handy at 2 in the morning, but certain nameless truck stops overdo it on spots. Limited free parking as early as 6 p.m. Well, I mean, the solution to that is kind of like the solution in trucking in that you got to not do business with those places to not have them do it, I guess. Penske on some accounts pays for PT layover and per stop. I honestly regret leaving them. Yeah, well, maybe it's time to go back. You can just boot the truck and charge them $1,000 for parking violation. Yeah, something needs to be done. You cannot go to a spot where you've paid for and they go, here's your $10 or $12 back. No, I need that spot. So that's got to go immediately onto their social medias. Go to tweet at them. A lot of these large companies are Twitter followers. Go tweet at them. Get on their Facebook. Just get on them about it. Any ELD or hours of service violation that we can help with at Fleet Nav Systems, going to have to sign out for a bit so we can answer anything before signing out. They're happy to do so. Fleet Nav Systems is here many weeks. And they are the Geotab and ELD E-Log question experts. They're also on YouTube, and now we can see them in person at Matt's here in a month. Can't tow with a person inside? Well, you can. I'll bet you can hook the truck up and wake him up when he sees a tow truck out there. Immediate tow parking on fuel on. Agree. What's the average yearly income in the trucking industry? Depends who you ask. I mean, the government thinks it's like $38,000, which I consider low. So 50s. We'll say 50s. Certainly an experienced driver can get that plus easy. Going to go help the poor CRST driver. He's trying to figure out what to do with the drop trailer. He looks confused. Yeah, go help him out and see what's going on out there with him. Alexander's going to stuff your pie. I'm going to hop off here. Take care. Good to see you. Thank you for being here today. We've been seeing a good number of freight customers reach out to us when they find out what GP Transco earns. It's good to see customers understanding how well-paid drivers are good to service. Oh, good. I thought it was going to be the other way where they say you're going to need to lower your rates because you pay your drivers too much. So that's a good question for you. Do you find that by being one of the higher paying places, like almost the highest paying place, that you are getting better service or from the drivers, or is it because of the high pay you can be more choosy and get better drivers, and therefore you get the better service because you're getting better drivers to start with? See, I don't know if it's the money motivating the people to provide better service. I think you're able to hire better drivers that then provide better service. I think it's the reverse. The boot is a great idea. Most trucks have someone on the clock to install the boot. Yeah, get them booted out of there. Planning on being there at the show in Louisville. Good, Christina. I hope to see you there. I'll be walking around. I make around $1,300 a week, and I'm home every night. Very nice. I've been local for many years. It could make a lot more if I did long haul or on the road. Can I make more if you did long? No, I don't think so because of the time. I mean, you'd make more per week, but you're going to spend all that time that you're at home in a truck. So it depends what you consider making money and how important time off is to you. Like almost everybody on here probably makes more than I do, but I don't work that much at work. So that's the thing of it. I want the time. The time is important. I can't get that back. I can't buy time when I'm older. I can't buy that time later. Like, I made money, all this money, I'm going to buy this time. No, I think there's other ways to make money personally. And so I don't do a lot of hours at my job, less than most people would think. So for me, I don't think you make more at the end of the week because of the hours you got to spend, all this free time. Oh, you got to fuel your truck. I got to find a place to park. I got to do all that. I don't think so. Signs have to be posted at all the entrances saying it will be booted or towed at parked and reserved parking. Can't just be a sign on the board on property. I thought it'd be a sign at the parking place is what I was thinking. But if the signs have to be posted, let them put signs up. Something needs to be done about rude shippers and receivers. That's partly our problem. Partly, right? Okay, this is interesting. GP Transco. We do find that paying drivers more leads to better quality of service. And the fact that we're selected due to the high wage does the same. So it's on both ends of it. You can choose better drivers that then give better service because they don't want to lose basically the good thing they got going. So they're better. Plus, they're also maybe a little bit happier because they're at a better place, right? They make more money, so their bills are paid. They're not stressed as much. I think that's part of it too, right? And overall, that makes probably a better experience at the shipper or receiver window, like Rumpelstiltskin is saying. Rude shippers and receivers are partly because usually it's a woman sitting there who has to be basically talked to by men all day who are probably, many of them, rude to her. And so I think it's a circle that goes around. Here's some GP Transco information right there. To go to a place that was rated, number 3 pay in the whole country, highest pay. So that's something right there. Selective, though. Selective. I'm looking at my simulator load board and planning some long-haul trips. Oh, they have a simulator load board? That's pretty good. Brooks saying, hey, Mark, have you got any Blue Parrot advice? My husband's headset won't charge. Also loves us the worst refund exchange policy. So if you got that option, if it's a Blue Parrot, write to Blue Parrot directly. I don't know what their email is, which I'm surprised at, but go on their website right here and write to Blue Parrot directly and say, here's the problem. Here's when I bought it or whatever, and see what they'll do for you. I've heard from people that they're pretty good. I haven't had any problems with mine, so I'd write to them directly or maybe tweet at them. A lot of these companies do that. Tweeting at companies really seems to do something, and see what they say about it. GP Transco. Customers tend to be okay with paying a little bit more for service of a company that provides better service. I was just being a little funny on that. So if it's a win-win in the end. Paying drivers well can be great for business. Yeah, a lot of companies don't realize that. And and I wouldn't lower the price, right? You don't see Rolls-Royce running sales. You say, look, you're paying more and it's worth it. That's the deal there. They don't have like discounts at the Rolls-Royce dealers. So you say you're going to get better service and it's going to cost you. And so companies can't just look for the cheapest thing or the cheapest driver. And when they pay more, they get better drivers. You can be selective. You get better drivers. It just rolls around and around. And suddenly you're building a new terminal somewhere. Rude trucker Hershey, especially place you've never been out and don't know their procedures. They think everyone knows. That's true, right? They go, oh, why aren't you over here? No, you have to go over there. Well, I'm sorry. I've never been here before. Oh, well, you're an idiot. Okay, sorry. Pontiac, $1,500 to $1,700 a week, home every night, JP dedicated. That's pretty good. I had somebody on here last week that was making $1,100, like $1,100 or $1,200 at JB for like 60 some hours a week. Not great. So you're doing way better. What city is that for JB Hunt? Call Blue Parrot. They'll take care of you. Yeah, I'd say contact Blue Parrot directly with that. Otherwise, bring it to the truck show. How about that? Take it down. They have a booth. Blue Parrot will definitely have a booth there. There are many packet and stack drivers on YouTube. Listen to them for now not to have a physical address. Okay, that's probably true too. I just think the RV thing is not a bad idea, or a trailer park. GP Transco, exactly. Top-notch service is everything. Dependability is important. Yes, exactly right. A happy worker is a good worker. That's what I'm saying. So somebody that's happy, likes their job, but also that they're making enough money where they're not stressed at home. Somebody making 35, 40 grand, it may be kind of a little bit nervous. You got to send some money home, but you got to feed your face. That's tough. That's tough to do. But now you're making 70, 80 grand. Now you can breathe a little bit. Take care of your drivers and they'll take care of your business. Exactly. Misty, I'd like to see trucks that park in non-parking spots block or impede drivers who are properly parked. Agree. I look around the TA. I see that every night. They're at the 130 in Indiana. Oh my gosh, there's people parked everywhere. The J there at the 138 also on I-65 in Indiana. There are people parked everywhere in there. I'm like, how do people get in and out of this place? You probably can't. Okay, 2019 Cascadia and Zerus was JB. Good. I mean, absolutely. If that's a place, look, you're making good money, home every day, got a nice truck, I'm in. What city is that so other people can get over there? That's often the case, although drivers sometimes get used to the high pay and extremely quickly and forget that it's not the way in all companies. We got to remind them. I wake these guys up at 4 a.m. and say, move your crap. Nice. The Phantom Teal View. Yeah, these GP Transco, there's supposedly teal trucks around for GP Transco. I still have this truck. I wanted to keep it because it was actually seen in the wild. I've still never seen one, though. So let me put that back on there. Right. So I have never seen one. I think they're around. I can't guarantee you'll get one because I haven't even seen one. Could drivers clean up their windows to check the oil when they park? That's what I do. Keeps the fuel line moving. Yeah, I don't know why people are looking. Fuel and get out of the fuel line if there's somebody behind you. Well, also, I've noticed this. I don't understand it. So, because I drive at night. All right, so I'm in the fuel line early, 2 in the morning, sometimes 3 in the morning, depends. 1:30 in the morning. So I pull up. There's nobody in the fuel line, usually. Maybe one other truck. Okay, so I pull up there, fill up, pull up, and then Billy Big Rigger, here it comes, pulls in behind me and starts filling up in my lane, even though there's like 5 lanes with nobody in them. Who does that? Who totally does that? It's the stupidest thing. Or I'll go in and get my receipt, I come back out, and then there's Billy Big Rigger in my lane. There's 4 open lanes. He's like, oh, for this lane, it's probably the best lane. That's why that driver did it. It's just the stupidest thing. I just don't, this is one of the things that I don't get. I don't get out of bed for less than 50 cents. Like you, I believe a man should do a job right. You're Rumpelstiltskin, right. No matter what, no matter what you're getting paid, you have to do your job. If you don't like your job, quit. Absolutely quit and say, I'm not doing it. But as long as you do it, you give 100% and you do the job safely because you did agree to the pay. Make it a parrot. You got to wear, always wear a parrot. Of course, even if it doesn't work, you should still wear it. Just want to say I left my old company based on one of the videos that was doing it better and never been happier. Nick, I appreciate that. I'm always nervous about those, believe me, because I've generally not been at the company. So, but I appreciate it, and I'm glad you're doing better. The Lansing Meyer account is at a DC. Oh, and I shop at Meyer all the time, so I may be helping you out there. I was there Sunday morning. Oh, that's what Fleet Nav Systems. Will GP Transco have a teal truck at the show? Yeah, GP Transco, will you have a teal truck? No, not at this time. Oh, that's disappointing. I thought you'd bring a truck down. There are trucks in the show. That'd be great. Problem, not a lot of driving or not respect their job, and you will be getting a crappy service. When a company sees you respect the company, they will pay you better. I don't know about that. I mean, if I went to work at England, right, I would do a good job there, but they wouldn't pay me any better. They'd be like, oh, this is just another idiot that came over. We can't believe he's working here. So I don't think so. I think it has to come from inside the company. It's got to be their idea that like better paid people are better workers, and so we're going to treat them better, and we're going to get better workers in return. It has to be an internal thing in the company. Fleet Nav Systems, thank you for being here. It's good to see you, and we'll see you again next week, I hope. I have seen 3 GP Transco trucks on the turnpike. I wish I could see one. It's difficult to tell if a driver's going to be professional. That's true. You don't know. Even after a full in-person interview, running their safety records and the orientation. Well, I can't imagine hiring, especially at a place like GP Transco with hundreds of trucks, hiring people. It must be a nightmare, and it's partly a crapshoot. You just don't know. You just never know. And you probably have to fire some people over the years. You just don't know. But you can at least be more selective because the pace, you get more applications certainly, and so you can be more selective because of that, which helps. You don't just have to take everybody because the better drivers won't ever apply. You don't have to do that. You can clean your windshield while you're fueling. Yeah, certainly. Okay, so you're on the Meyer account in Lansing. Terminal is on site at the DC. And there you go. Anyone interested in just a driver, not a recruiter, love it, right? And I shop at Meyer every Sunday, so it's good to see that. K-Dub Milkman is late. Yeah, just got done hauling big poop for the pig poop. What kind? Hopefully then a different trailer than the milk trailer. I mean, really? You hauled that in the the milk trailer. This is what Gracie thinks about you coming in at this time. I'll tell you that. Pig poop. Where does that go? I guess they put it on the fields. Sorry I'm late. Okay, I'm listening on my Blue Parrot in the driver's lounge, hoping to fix your truck quick. I hope so too. Let's get back out there and get some money, and I hope they're paying you for that time. People need to pay you for that. George Costanza. Poor guy was distraught. I grabbed some other drivers. We're getting it cranked up slowly. The trail legs are messed up. Maybe they won't see. Yeah, and I appreciate that. Believe me, thank you very much for a super chat, and I'm glad you went out there and helped him. He'll probably love that. So, as long as they cranked up, they still work. That's what I think, right? Send him on his way. Maybe give him a card to your company. Quick question, Dread Pirate Truckers here. DPT in the house. Why not pay the drivers by the hour and the mile? For example, 15 an hour and 30 cents a mile. Wouldn't that solve a lot of problems? I don't like it because I don't think they'd give you 15 and 30. I'll tell you that, because 30 times 60 miles an hour is 18. You'd be making 33. Companies that have a heart attack. I just like the hourly personally because of the overtime. Hourly plus overtime. All your time is paid. I don't know, this 30 and 15, you're still going to get hosed, right? Because it's 500-mile run, you get paid 450 miles. I want drivers just paid straight hourly. You don't have to worry about all this mileage and all that stuff. That's how I like it. But that's certainly a better solution than what we have now. Dread Pirate Trucker, great broadcast. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I watch your shows as well over there. Chef Matt, hello, DPT. All right. Your petrol department would have you a Dread. Right. Dread is in the house. At Steer England, you don't work, you slave. I mean, when there's 3 people in the truck, it's not a great deal. That is incredible. But we got to think that the people coming in don't know any different. I mean, we're always mad at them or whatever, but it's really not their fault. They don't know. They just assume, oh, this is trucking. England is like, look, we're a big company. This is how trucking is. It isn't. And so we got to try to educate those people and say, look, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be like this. You show them, it's like they're in a little room and you open the door and there's all this huge fields of flowers. I mean, they're in this little dinky room, right? You got to open the door and show them there's a whole world out there that they can go to. It's a whole new world. That's what we show them out there. So I'm starting to notice how many truckers are line people. They seem to find safety numbers who would rather stand in line for hours than break away and get there quickly their own way. Moosevar, is that this guy who's behind me all the time? And I just don't understand the fuel island thing. I don't get it. Dread is awake. Dread's up early today. Cassius King Trucking. We got the pump the brakes on this roller wiener Monday thing. I just wanted to Love's and it looks like everybody stopped and got a roller wiener before I got there. That stinks. Well, at least you get a fresh one, right? Dread lived the back and it stack it. I listen to Trucking Answer while I'm driving. I appreciate that on your Blue Parrot. Does life get any better? I think that's it, right? I would do the same thing. Chef Matt agrees with DPT. Look, that's better than this. That's certainly better than just mileage. Hourly plus mileage is still better because then at least you'd get paid for fueling. You'd get paid for your pre-trip. You'd get paid for all this other stuff. Absolutely. And it'd be all time on duty and driving time. Rumpelstiltskin, when I quit England 5 years ago, I told them nobody wants to drive a truck on McDonald's wages. They hung up on you because they hung up and they go, dang it. He knows, right? And they immediately deleted you out of their computers and everything. My terminal in Baton Rouge and quality carriers downsized from 89 to 33 drivers. Wow. Did they lose some kind of an account or something? Dread Pirate Trucker, are you joining us on Amazon TV? Oh, by the way, DPT, will you be at Matt's this year? Let's see if we can get DPT over to Mid-America Truck Show. March 26th to 28th. Don't forget about the Mid-America Truck Show in Louisville. Get your tickets. They're free by February 25th. Just go sign up. They'll send them to your house in March. That's something you need a box for because they send you tickets in the mail. So there's where we're getting our box right there for our free Matt's tickets. We'll see if he's going to be at the Mid-America Truck Show. I was in the tractor with a slurry tank. No need to get worried. Oh, okay, good. I was wondering about which tanker you grabbed the right one there. Michael Muller says $35 an hour for every hour driving and on duty with overtime. Don't forget about OT past 40. When drivers drive, and that encourages, what that does is encourage companies to utilize your time more efficiently. So if you were sitting at a dock for hours, they'd be much more inclined to get you out of there rather than now, because if you'll sit there for free or for very little money, they have no incentive to have you move. They don't care. But if they had to pay you and you were sitting there on overtime of 35 years, so you're getting almost $50 an hour, they'd be very inclined to have you get out of that dock. I think there'd be a lot more dropping hooks if it was hourly too. You wouldn't have to actually sit in the dock because they'd really, really, really want you to do more. You'd be more efficient. I think the companies would make more money because they would have every incentive to figure out how to make your day the most efficient day possible. Where you'll just give them your time for nothing. They have no incentive to do anything for you because it costs them very little. When drivers drop trailers, keep an eye on both legs in case they're out of time. Trailer will fall sideways. Yeah, I've had that. I've had that occasionally, like over the years, a couple of times. I drop a trailer and I casually look down. I'm like, wait a minute. One leg didn't come down. And then you got to go to the shop and go, hey, this leg's not coming down. This is a big problem. So you're behind a Sierra England truck on 80 in Pennsylvania. All right. Be careful. There's 3 people in that truck. I've taken my 10-hour break at the fuel island before. Of course, there was no parking, and I parked in front of a pump that was out of service. Or like we heard earlier, somebody had already put the thing there. And look, if the pump doesn't work, I don't mind that, right? You're not blocking any pump up. George Wilson, catch you next week. Good. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming in, and I'll see you in a week. I've done that, broke up my traffic cones and put them behind a trailer. Yeah, nobody would think anything about it, probably. Nobody checks at night. He doesn't know how he dropped it. I told him to check your fifth wheel on your pre-trip. Always verify the fifth wheel was locked around your kingpin. He didn't verify before pulling out. Especially at truck stops. You got to do a tug test at least, even if you don't get out there and look. At least, because you never know when somebody's going to pull your fifth wheel. I've seen tons of YouTube videos of drivers whose fifth wheels have been pulled. And then people are laughing, oh, look how funny this is. It's not that funny. Christina, what kinds of booths will be at the show besides Parrot and GP Transco? Well, basically every trucking company that you can imagine, all the large trucking companies, not every company, but a lot of companies, hundreds of companies. There's a whole recruiting booth, and then there's a building of antique and show trucks. There's food there. There will be a building full of like products, like Blue Parrot and every other kind of truck product. And all kinds of stuff like that. So it's a huge, huge show, and it's the biggest show in trucking. A lot of them have giveaways and stuff. Believe me, you're going to get a bag full of pens and paper and at least all that stuff to get from all these things. And there may be something there that you want, and I think some of it is pretty interesting. A few years ago, Michelin had a thing set up with truck tires and a tire billy, and they asked people to whack the tires to see how much pressure was in them to prove that you can't tell how much pressure is in the tire when you whack on it. So I thought that was pretty good. When will everyone get together on these e-logs that are illegal? I don't know. I kind of like them. Don't mess with your e-logs, said Nomad Trucker. Yeah, all it is doing is recording the time that you are already required to log. So I don't have any problem with it. It's truck 5796, and it's got 3 people in it. The driver and a passenger, and are at least 400 pounds. And English is disabling the rear drop suspension. Nice. I've heard that some companies disable that, which I don't get. Yeah, GP Transco will not be there this year. Not every company goes there. There's lots of companies. But there are a lot of companies there, and it's a lot of fun. Roger Penske, Mark, interviewed DPT at Matt's. Oh, that would be something, right. We haven't heard from him if he's going to be there. I think he just dropped in to say hello. Has he considered changing the channel name to Dread Byron Trucking? Maybe. We'll see if he is still. He may have already disappeared into the wilderness. Do you think after 40 hours, OT after 40, or other than 8? After 8. Look, 40 is I think the best we're going to get. I'd like to see it after 8. It's not the law. 40 is the law. I'm with 40 hours. Most people I talk to are way plus 60 hours a week. GP Transco has been at the thing before that Matt's and didn't see a benefit. There are many carriers jumping on drivers there, and what's one extra carrier going to do? We would rather attend to learn. Well, that's true, and it is true. It's like a big meat market there. I mean, the only thing they basically don't do is have a big hook that grabs you and makes you come in the booth on some of them. So until you start asking them questions, and then some companies are like, why don't you leave? Trucking pop. My old Blue Parrot 250 won't connect my auxiliary in the truck. Maybe I just don't know how to do it. I don't know. 250, I've never had one of those. Can't get rid of a trucker's blood. I cut the traveling trucker's blood. Yikes. Ex-lady and everyone has been asking about you on Saturday nights. Yeah, are you coming to the truck show? What are you doing? One leg not coming down? I didn't know that could happen. It's happened not like a lot, but I've had it happen maybe 2-3 times over the years where the only one leg comes down. I guess probably something inside the gears or whatever broke, and it doesn't let that other leg turn. And so then you got to go find some mechanic, right, to put stands under it so you can drop the trailer. Use a pipe wrench on the shaft that runs under the carriage. Oh, that's nice. That's what's broken. There's sort of something broken in there. Is the roller wiener company going to be at the show? Oh, we can only hope so. That roller wiener that I didn't get the picture again, dang it. There's a roller wiener machine that looks like a jackpot machine, and it would be a jackpot. I hope so. I believe if people are pulling fifth wheels like that, they need to have charges filed. I totally agree with you. It's completely super dangerous and probably illegal. I've seen someone drop a fifth wheel trailer down onto the pickup bed. That was an expensive day, I bet. That kind of stuff, those kind of things, that's not funny. Always check your air pressure on the fifth wheel. Oh, nice. Yeah, if you can. George Costanza, I'll beat them with their tire knocker in between the trucks. There's no, get away from these cameras. Watch the flatbedder pull in the fuel line and put an orange cone behind his truck, then go for a shower. There you go. So people use an orange cone, and he probably had his own cones. Understand it's a machine that tells you even to sleep and when to drive. Not everyone can sleep when you tell them. It doesn't work that way. I understand that, but the problem is the law didn't change. The ELD didn't change the law. The law's been that way for years before the ELD. This is still the law, and I agree that you can't sleep like that. It's not a great solution, but the other solution of like just drive whenever you want and sleep whenever you want, which I've heard some people say, oh, I'm experienced, I know how to sleep when I want. The company will make you drive 24 hours a day if they don't have some kind of limit on the company. Not every company, right? A lot of companies will be like, well, you don't have a limit, so I need that load picked up tonight or you're fired. And since you're the one not willing to do it, that absolutely would happen more, and it would not be as safe. Cassius King Trucking heard Schneider's done away with the air suspension dump, so that's another place doing it. I wonder why they do that. A little late, the heady trucker. I hope you're doing well. Doing great over here. It's a great day to be awake and alive. Rika, hi, Mark. I've been watching the channel for a while, doing research on companies, but a lot of them don't want to hire an outside CDL grad. They would rather train people they sent to school. I mean, that's certainly possible. I haven't found that to be too much of a problem. On a lot of places actually have reimbursement. So if you go to a school that isn't their place, they actually give you so much a month, $50 a month or whatever, as reimbursement for truck school. So I haven't found that to be such a huge problem as that. I mean, who's not hiring like that? I mean, yeah, Roger Penske, look around just to keep calling around places. There's going to be places that hire because they have reimbursement for truck school. All of them are going to put you in a trainer truck. That's true. A lot of companies will take you, right. You're going to go with a trainer, but they're not going to have to put you through their school, and you'll get that truck school reimbursed if you had any cost. So I hope you have a receipt, because they usually want a receipt, and they'll generally reimburse you the cost of the truck school, which is pretty convenient at some of these places. All right, they had the best states to drive for and the worst states to drive in. So what is the best state to drive in? They had the top 3 of each of them here written down. The best state to drive in. And the worst states, you're going to really be surprised about what was listed as the worst state to drive in versus what I think it is and what I think most people are probably going to say. So I'd like to know about that. So try Schneider. Yeah, no with suspension dump though. But they still do that. You get farther discipline if you turn down a load if you've been up all day and get a load to drive all night because you have hours. I don't know about that. I mean, maybe where you are, that's probably possible at some places. I'll say this, you should quit. Because any place that would want you to drive tired is not worth working for, certainly. But, yeah, they still could do it. But imagine if there were no limit on the hours. So no matter when you were driving, you could still drive. They're going to be like, well, just go drive an hour over there and get that trailer. I want the company at least to be at least limited a little bit on some of this stuff. GP Transco's added a 60-question exam and the end of our onboarding boot camp. Let's see how our new drivers do. Yikes. Is there a link to the exam so we can study in advance? And will math be involved in this? Do we have to bring a calculator and show our work? These companies are probably doing away with the air suspension because it costs an extra $25. Yeah, that's probably true. Oh, we're not putting that in there. I love the ELD. Never drove illegal before ELD, so it doesn't make a difference to me. It makes my life easier. I think it's simpler. Like, I'm not going to say I never ran over hours. I did that, early on, but I don't do that anymore. And so it just made life simpler. When I go in, I just sign in and that's it. The whole day is taken care of and then you just sign out. Simple. I think it's simple. A lot easier. Best state to drive for Wyoming? No, that was not in the top 3 states even. I was surprised. That's what I would have said. Wyoming, super easy to drive in. Worst state, Florida, was not on the worst state 3. California isn't the hassle that rumors make it out to be. Chips are much cooler than you would think. Look, I saw the show about them. It was on for a couple of years. Ponch and all that. Oh, yeah. Wisconsin, the best state, and Connecticut is the worst state. Nope. Chips are way better than New Mexico State Patrol. No link to the exam. Dang it. Classified until orientation. We want to make sure every driver is 100% clear on every company policy and best practices. Is there math? Do I have to show my work? What about, I hope there is not trigonometry, I hope. That you should add one question on there. I think it would be funny. That's like trigonometry or something like that, like a super hard trig question. And then don't count it or anything. Just put it on there just to see what people think about it. It'd be question, the last question. I think it'd be funny. That's something I would do. What about this example? You're an hour away from home and you can't drive. You lose home time because you can't move until 10 hours. I agree. And do people complain about that? I agree with you. But part of that is your company should plan you better to be home, right? And, the other solution of that really, it seems flippant whenever I say that, is to go work somewhere else that where you're home and on a better schedule. Because the hour from home, I agree with you. But if we don't limit the hour, then the next guy's like, well, I'm only 2 hours from home. The next driver's like, well, I'm 3.5 hours. It's not that far. It has to be a hard limit somewhere, or the company will make you do 50 million things. And how many hours do we want to drive a day? What about that side of it? It's a tie between Connecticut and California. Worst state to drive in? No. Wyoming is the least potholes. That's good. My favorite state is Arizona and New Mexico. They said the worst states from 3 to 1 is Rhode Island is the worst state. And then California and then Washington. So worst state, Rhode Island. What the heck? I would have never thought that. I'm like, Rhode Island is worse than California? How about that? Rhode Island? Why? Because it's so small you don't notice it? I don't understand. Is a weather research for driving route an option somewhere on the ELD? I don't know what you mean. A weather research for driving route. I don't know about that. Every state has good and bad places to drive. That's true. People say California is horrible. I only drive in New Mexico because I live there. That's a good way to do it. 2 of the most surprising worst cities are Austin, Texas, and Port Charles, Louisiana. The worst part of paper logs is trying to get that 24 hours or quarter hours to add up at the bottom of the page. That you don't have the math problem and e-logs. How about that? The e-log solves that problem. Don't drive before 10 or 2 and then not until 7. Wow. $50 toll for 2 miles of freeway. That's probably the problem. I appreciate the talks and I watch your videos all the time, Hoover. I thank you for all the info. Drivers really need someone like you putting things in perspective. I appreciate that. Look, there's good and bad about the log, right? I'm not going to say like it's perfect or whatever, but it limits both of you. It almost limits the companies. There's a lot of bad players from having drivers drive 24 hours a day. And the hour from home, I agree it's a problem. That is a real problem. And I don't know what the solution is to that. Is there exception if you're going home? And then the company said, well, just pick this load up by your house. I don't know how to solve that. I don't know how to solve it. Other than changing companies where you're definitely home at 5 p.m. every Friday or something. That's one way to do it. If I'm an hour from home, I'm calling someone to come and get me, and I'm leaving the truck parked and come back and get it. Okay, until you're done with home time. That's also, I guess, you could have someone come and get you. What do you long hauls guys make per mile? What's an acceptable rate? All right. Well, what do people make a long haul? 50 plus, certainly. Best states to drive in. I thought this was curious. Number 3 best state to drive in was North Carolina. North Carolina, number 3. Number 3 best state was North Carolina. Number 2 best state, Tennessee. How about that? Tennessee. Surprised. I'm a little bit surprised. And number 1 best state to drive in said Iowa. Yep, Iowa. That was the number 1 best state to drive in. So the survey said. I'm really surprised at all of them. At least if you get caught making a mistake in Providence, you'll likely be able to do a collaboration with Caught in Providence channel as long as it's something minor. Okay, right. But you can go that way for free. There's always some free way around it. Iowa's not terrible, I don't think, but I wouldn't have said Iowa as like the best state to drive in. Now remember, the Walcott Jamboree will be in Iowa, and Walcott, of course, at the world's largest truck stop. That's in July. So that's in July. I'm planning to be out there too. It's kind of like a mini Mid-America truck show. So outdoors, they have some kind of pork chop thing there going, everything. It's going to be pretty good. Haven't been to that yet. There's a trucking museum there. Truck museum. So that's free to go in. It's 900 parking places. And it's really a TA. So it didn't used to be. It's a TA now. I hope to see everybody at that too. Tennessee with Nashville, Crashville. I don't know. Best state, it says, look, number 2, Tennessee. People love driving around in Tennessee, apparently. I'm not sure about that. Well, I want to put this out there, too. It's because Celadon, this is great. I forgot about this. They're in their bankruptcy. Now, in their bankruptcy filing, you're going to love this. So check this out. They had 4 Andy Warhol original paintings that they had to list in the bankruptcy as an asset of the company. Andy Warhol apparently had a truck series. He's a famous painter. Many of you, I'm sure, have seen his paintings. So they were in the lobby of Celadon, these Andy Warhol paintings. Who has Andy Warhol paintings when you're going bankrupt? Shouldn't they have sold those to try and fund the company? But hey, what do I know? Here's the beautiful part. Somebody made an offer to buy them out of the bankruptcy to give Celadon some cash. So these Andy Warhol paintings got purchased by the daughter of the founder of Celadon. Isn't that convenient? How convenient is that? The daughter of the founder of Celadon was able to buy the paintings that Celadon had bought with Celadon money for $105,000. And I don't know if that's a good price or not, because I haven't priced out an Andy Warhol original painting lately. So I don't know if that's good money. But I will tell you, I don't know how much worse this place could smell than the holding group that owns them buying out Taylor, and then the daughter of the founder gets to buy the original Andy Warhol paintings for $105,000. That's crazy. It couldn't be a worse situation. The worst states to drive in were Washington, California, and then the absolute worst state was Rhode Island. Of all things, Rhode Island. And people say it's because of the toll. Maybe. But Rhode Island? I would never have thought Rhode Island. North Carolina, where the stills never closed. But they have pre-pass, right? So it must have been fun. Yeah, it did say this was funded by the Iowa Department of Transportation's outreach department. So you can get it there. Don't forget to get your tickets to Mid-America Truck Show, okay? And I didn't mention Jay today, which I always should. He does a live show every week here on YouTube. He's at 8 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, every Tuesday. So it's a very good, informative show. Jay's a great person. So if you're interested in that part of the business, maybe get some business coaching to go into that part of the business, go check Jay out. GP Transco, of course, as I have to get headed out here. They're here today. I don't guarantee a teal-colored truck. They do have a $1,000 a week guarantee, which is pretty good. There's some information for GP Transco. I want to thank them, of course, for being here today in the chat, answering questions, and see if they'll add that trig question. Fleet Nav Systems was here today. Check them out on YouTube. They are the Geotab experts. Right, so there's that. There's that anyway. So that was what's going on with that. Your home country, yeah, right. Mount Eagle is pretty rough if you're loaded. Yeah, it's not terrible, right? Keenan Advantage Group, 53 cents on 3,000 miles a week. That's pretty good. Trucker Hershey is headed to lunch. Christina, good show. Thank you very much. Thank you for saying that. Warhols are from 700 to over 1 million to Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, I don't know what the truck series pictures are. I don't know. I don't know if 105 is a good deal. I'll tell you this. It's really something that of all the people in the world that collect Warhols, which I'm sure there are a lot of, it's the daughter of the founder of Celadon that gets to buy the paintings out of bankruptcy. Isn't that something? And then the company that gave him $160 million last summer, right before they closed, buys Taylor Express. Oh boy. I mean, I don't even know what to say. How much worse can this place get? Yeah, cash is king. Celadon, should we pay our drivers? But wait about these Andy Warhol paintings. It's from his truck series. Let's hang them in the lobby so the drivers can look at them. I mean, does anybody have original paintings? Maybe they do. Oh, is that a Picasso? Oh, it's an original Picasso. I mean, come on. They could at least have bought a print. But these from the court, they're original paintings. Originals. It doesn't make any sense. Kay Wayne, be safe. Thank you for being here. Rhino, safe travels. I appreciate it. Corey Hayes, I thought Texas would be the worst. I can't believe it's Rhode Island. I just don't understand it. You know, that I don't get at all. Everybody should join OIDA too. I didn't mention this lately. Go and join OIDA. It's what we've got right now. It's the best we can do at the moment. You know, really. What else can we do? Nothing right now. At least it's something we can do at the moment to come together. What else are we going to do? Rumpelstiltskin, thank you for being here. Big, huge Mike, it was good to see you today. And best name, I caught some guys stealing tires from an abandoned Celadon trailer. They're all over the place. I was going to call the cops, but they offered me a tire to help them. Here's a tire. Oh, okay, I'll take it. Roger Penske, you think the court verified those values, so you think she's actually paying maybe a legitimate price for the paintings? Maybe. It's still curious that the founder's daughter of everybody in the world, you know, a court should auction these off, if anything. Musafar, thank you, Mark. We appreciate you and Gracie. Well, she appreciates that. Even though she doesn't show it that much, she does appreciate it. I'm trying to find her over here. All right, there she is. And there, we'll give a Gracie break while we head out here today as the company requires me to come in. Thank you for saying that. She's still sleeping somewhere. I don't know where she went off to, of course. And Mustafar, appreciate you being first on Thursday. And Frederick was first today. I always like to say that, so came in first. Cash is King Trucking, I appreciate you coming in today. It's good to see you. Trucking Pop was here. Christina, thank you for being here. DPT came in. Graced us with his presence. Thanks for coming in. Dread Pirate Trucker. It's got a YouTube channel. I'm sure you've all seen him. He's out there on the YouTubes as well. You get certainly a different take on trucking. Chef Matt, thanks for coming in. Roger Penske, keep him good over there. George Costanza, thank you very much for being here today. Nomad Trucker was here. Hoover, I appreciate the talk. That's just my take on the e-logs, you know. The Heady Trucker, thank you for being in today. And Michael Muller was here today. Trucking Journeys, I appreciate you coming in. So Matt was here. Matt Holmer, right? I say that good there, I think. Let's see. I can't get to everybody. Nick Fast was here. There's so many people. K-Dub Milkman came in here. Hauling Poo, yikes, right. Pontiac was here. I appreciate it. Hunsley came in today. Thank you for coming in. And I'm headed out basically to go make my company money, because that's why you work at a company, always remember. They hire people, us, to make them money, right? So that is that's how it works, right? In any business, we make them money, and so that's what you have to do. They make you come in and do it. Kenneth Pete, thanks for being here. Grace, you should get some live shots on your channel. Yeah, if she ever wakes up, she could be on the channel live. Chef Man has several channels. Check them out when you have some time. All right, everybody should go do that, right? And I appreciate you saying that. So otherwise, I'm headed out to go make the company some money and be safe out there, everybody. All right, so we'll have more videos as we go along. Watch those legs when you drop them. Sometimes you only drop one leg. Only one descends, and then, you know, basically a truck doctor's got to take care of it. So we'll see you next time. Be safe.